guess Antoria would actually have an excuse for it now. He has a kick-ass sword.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Don't even have proficiency in it.
No, he does have proficiency in it. The sword gives him proficiency by dent of his bloodline.
Yeah, start using that sword.
Hmm?
Yeah, do it.
Oh god, is it gonna be like a Stormbringer thing?
Nah, it's fine.
Everything will be good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Oh man, how many Elric books have you read?
0.
Oh man, really?
Yeah,
They're so
literally
great.
0. But I know all about Stormbringer.
Well, that's where all magic sentient swords come from.
It was the only talking sword I knew of growing up.
Which one's the Myth of the Singing Sword or whatever? Who did that? Is that an original thing? Or?
Seems like an annoying
I saw that in Roger Rabbit.
Games. It's been in a few games now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar with the singing sword. How's it going, friends?
Good.
Hello!
Hi.
Pretty good.
Cool.
Are we live? I can never tell because the lights are...
Yeah,
I can tell by the way he said Alfred.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's his
I talk
DM.
this way when we're live on Twitch.com
Yeah.
and to my mother.
I don't know why you're not... Where the fuck are you on my live list? There you are.
I mean, I apologize. I'm streaming as hard as I can.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Stream harder.
I found you. I found you.
You're allowed
Don't
to
worry.
do that on the
Streaming
stream.
too hard. Too hard.
Yeah, you're really not allowed to do that on Twitch.com.
Everybody be cool. I'm here now.
I'm in the right category.
Oh, that's the wrong category for me.
There should not be a category for that.
Thank you.
Is there a category that's just stream hard?
I mean, anything goes in IRL. Like, there's very
Oh, I
few things
got
you
it.
can't stream. I mean, there's a few terms of service things.
No butt stuff.
Feet.
No butt stuff.
No butt stuff.
I put my feet on when I did my workout stream.
You're not supposed to. You can get banned
I
for
know,
that
but I
now.
was like, I'm not like.
So if anyone's been looking for that sweet
Yeah, you could
weak spot on Tiger Crush's brand,
Yeah, you're like trying to bring me
it was
down.
the teeth, the feet,
The
whole,
teeth?
yeah,
Oh, no.
his foot teeth. You know that expression, your foot
His
teeth.
feet.
Ah!
His feet.
That's
Thank
like
you for
that's
that
like
idea.
somebody who
God.
doesn't know English trying to figure out how to say toenail.
Uh,
You know, you're like, feet, teeth.
Yeah,
Can I start
God!
stabbing people now?
yeah, go for it.
That is the most disgusting thing.
Feet.
Okay.
This is unfortunately not the Marcus catch-up
Yeah,
episode.
I thought
We were-
Luby was gonna be back.
Still sans one Lobos Junior Gaming for a
He's
little
worn
bit.
out. Tired from the Paxton.
He's tired and also on a different
I was
coast.
say he's still not in Austin. Texas.
My guess is that he's scared of hurricanes, which
That's
I mean,
reasonable.
That's absolutely reasonable.
Well-
It's a good idea not to die.
He also probably has the Pax Pox, so it's probably good he's
Oh, that's a good point. I had not even thought of
Oh
that.
shit, yeah.
Yeah, only my character has a good con score. I don't.
Well, speaking of your character, let's
no.
play a little bit of catch up.
Okay.
What momentous events took place last week?
Well, let's see. We went to Nibenay.
Uh huh.
Yay. We apparently conquered Nibenay by killing Lord Sham with the regenerate spell of all things after many other attempts failed.
You skipped a few steps in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I feel like he hit the high points.
Kate and Antoria took their bonds to the next level.
That happened after, well, almost after.
That was before.
Well, only slightly.
Took their wait. What
No,
are we
you're-
talking
you're
about
Well,
right now?
they
Yeah.
really are on the same wavelength now.
Yeah. Kate is now
I
drawing
think he's
power from Antoria.
overstating. They're overstating the Templar thing.
Yep.
Oh
Because
yeah.
that's a big plot point. That's a huge plot point.
But it wasn't something.
Yeah,
they
but that's something that
actively-
can come up in conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Right, but it wasn't something.
See,
that,
this is why I looked at Herbie when I looked for the recap.
rather than
Because
you.
we're knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the recap has been done to death already.
It's true.
Let's
You've
move on.
arrived at Nibenay. You've returned to the Shadow City, where Nibenay himself has been missing for nearly a century. You've reunited with your old erstwhile ally, Dehojakt, Crown Prince of Nibenay, and his motley crew of former NPCs that you've... or not former NPCs. They're not so... Players just start pouring in from the sides. You're a player now. You're a player. Of cameos and friends and, some friends. Some people that are just, they're family, so you can't really shake them, that kind of thing.
I killed my family.
You have killed
I shook them. Don't worry.
a lot. Oh, boy, oh boy. What was that clapping? Was that in the soundtrack?
No, that was
No, I did
Rachel-
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was like someone in the front yard, like.
No, she's doing
Yeah,
she's doing
good work.
Foley over there.
But the one fan that I can think of that would be in the front yard would not have the ability to clap. So I was really confused.
Yeah, Squeaky only has paws.
And you managed to overcome the forces of Lord Sham and his self-replicating army of more Shams.
Forces of blob.
Yeah, the forces of Blob, and you're triumphant. So far as you can tell, the Urikari army stands ready to occupy the whole of the city if it is your will. We're picking up basically right after sort of the aftermath of the fight. You guys have had a chance to rest up and basically sort yourselves out.
Resting is good.
It is. Well, I took care of that real quick.
Everyone gets 15 temporary HP, which doesn't work anyway.
Does Antoria say it in that voice?
No.
Because I think that would do real well for, like, you know,
No.
impressing upon your troops.
No.
Yeah.
How pleased you are with your newfound victory.
Yes, well, and Antoria does look to Prince Dojat and say, well, we're here, we seem to have the city. What do you want to do with it?
Well, I think it's wise to make sure that there's no other scions of this wretched little house skirting around somewhere in the city. So, moving in and making sure that the Templars know who's boss would probably be a good idea.
Agreed. I assume the general populace should be left largely alone, however.
So long as they mind their business, and as with the Templar wives, acknowledge their conquerors as, liberators. We have liberated the city from the Fat Man.
Very well. I'll ensure that the army knows there's to be no looting and pillaging.
Much obliged, much obliged. That's not to say there won't be a hefty reward.
Of course.
Of course, we'll need to get inside the Naggaramakam. You know, the big old hidden palace, the secret fortress that my father maintains. Haven't been in there in a good 100 years.
It's an interesting thing. Sham was trying to get into it, I presume, yes?
I would think so, but it's only members of the royal family that go in and out.
Could he not have used a wish? He had two more.
Well, you gotta wonder, is it really worth burning one of those things on?
I suppose. And as a point of order, where are our two currently?
I've got him. Oh.
Alright.
Safe and sound.
Zorak, may I see those for a moment?
Excuse me.
That's
Oh,
not
the
what you
clutch.
say.
The clutch, yes.
There we go.
Well,
there we go.
he's a sorcerer king now. He's
Oh,
probably
see
got
it
it.
now.
I don't think he's apparently not enough to be immune to that.
Yeah.
If you'll forgive me, I owe these as a debt to someone here in town. I'm going to have to return them.
Interesting. That's quite the debt.
Oh.
Both because it's not exactly the one I was given.
Well,
We'll see if it works.
Maybe you can use one on a new house.
do keep in mind, though, that our primary purpose is to find Nibenay.
I understand that. What was the fellow's name, the merchant from so long ago who made the horrible mistake of trusting us with a wish-granting item?
Yeah.
Lord Dijeffrins.
It is.
Well, I was meta asking her. Antoria would remember
Well,
her.
Cade's devotion knows no meta.
And you're going to try and only give one, right? And then
we'll see.
Depending on...
Antoria's going to explain what happened to him and let him decide. That's the thing to do here, or so Antoria thinks. So Antoria...
As a sorcerer?
He's not a sorcerer king, that's the first problem. So Antoria sends someone to invite him,
Yeah,
making
it's a
it clear
lich.
that this guy's not to be brought as a prisoner or something like that.
Sure, where are you sending him?
Hmm?
The messenger, where are you sending it?
There was a temple that they was hanging out at before.
The Temple of the Exalted Path, that's
Yes.
correct. Okay.
And he takes care to mention that the messenger should mention Antoria and what he was entrusted with earlier,
Okay, that's fair.
and sends him off.
Are you just hanging out until you hear word back?
Well, I assume we've got some other things to work out, so I think we can pass the time.
That's fair, that's fair.
And Antoria...
Organize the army, do other stuff, make sure everything's squared away, right?
Sure. Antoria, I'll say that having led the troops to victory, the Urukari army is certainly regarding you with a bit more clout than perhaps you had on the journey to Nibenay.
Cool. Antoria, well, is Prince Dojat still here?
Yeah, I think you can assume that everyone that was present at the battle is still here.
All right. Well, I'll begin.
Except for Sham.
Yeah.
He's here, and there,
Yeah.
and there.
Well, if our immediate plans have been formed, I'll begin preparing the army for moving into the city.
Spectacular. I'll, watch.
All right. But actually, we do have a few things we need to discuss unrelated to our conquest here.
Oh, certainly.
Why do I get the impression he hasn't left yet?
Oh, you mean privately?
Yes, yes.
Not so good at the whole diplomacy thing, are you? No worries, no worries. You'll get the hang of it. And then he skitters away on his 100 legs because he's a huge bug.
Don't forget that he's a maggot.
Yes. All right.
Isn't he more like a centipede?
He's
I thought he had a maggot butt.
he's a manapede.
A manatee.
Oh, I was
Yeah, he's-
picturing him like Duriel from Diablo 2.
Yeah, it's not, other than not having nearly enough legs, maybe.
Wait, we had
Yeah.
well, Dad's still alive.
Yeah, it's not.
I've definitely got it somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, his hind is definitely centipede inspired.
That's
Right.
gross.
Well, at length, if Antoria can manage to clear enough people out where it's the four of us left.
Of course, I
You're
mean,
the fucking sorcerer king.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
Just everyone runs.
it's Antoria. You gotta let him work it out in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tori's like,
You gotta step up and
well,
go.
Okay, we'll just dimension door out of town, have our conversation.
No,
that'll
but
be easier.
if there's nothing Antoria is known for, it's his attention to decorum.
he probably just looked at the guy and says, yeah. And that was just like 5 minutes of.
Well, since becoming the leader of the army of York, he actually has been making a notable effort to try and at least fill that role somewhat responsibly. So he does make various efforts, but if someone's a little slow getting the hint and it's not someone super important, he's like, yeah, go.
That happens a number of times, but before too long, you have the tent to yourselves.
Well, where to start? Well, the easy one. That helpful fellow, Jos. What rank does he currently hold?
Lieutenant.
What's the next rank up from that?
Like a captain, or like, I'm not in the military.
And the truth comes out.
That's a hell of a plot twist.
Yeah, I think Lord Captain would be the next rank up.
Yeah, good. Lord Captain.
Is it appropriate for particularly meritorious service for the Lord of the Army himself to give a promotion?
Yes, especially given that you were leading this battle.
Very well, I'll take care of it before we begin the next phase of the operation. That was the easy one. I suppose maybe you should explain. You're the expert.
Okay, well, like, look at his war pick and look at Antoria. Be like,
It was what I thought it was, yes?
Antoria, you. And Cade will kneel? Good, you really are.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, no.
Did we miss
Stand.
something?
He'll stand.
Not like that!
So then he stands like this.
Cade will like, he's gonna like cross his arms and lean his weight on one leg like it's casual, but it's like the most rigid way anyone has ever done that.
Fine.
Oh.
I'll explain. Apparently, I'm a source of Templar power.
Interesting.
I'll
So you're a
say.
sorcerer king.
No.
Well,
I'm thinking there's like a criteria or
Well, at the-
maybe like a checkbox.
at the
sort
very
of
least,
thing.
he has a closer connection than maybe what we thought to
Yeah.
Manu. Aside from just blood, perhaps even power itself.
It
Maybe
wasn't even a
belief in
conscious
him
thing.
enough?
I didn't. Did Antoria even feel anything other than like the brief mental connection and the automatic? I mean, he can't access any wellspring of Templar power within himself, I assume.
No, you cannot.
Even now, I don't feel like I radiate any sort of different power. Though, there is something we have to talk about, I suppose. Why did you do it in the first place?
I was like look out the front of the tent. Like there was some difficulty in drawing my power from its usual source.
That might be understandable, but that still doesn't lead to why you would even think of trying to draw it from...
Well, if I may. Prince Antoria.
And that's in character Cassia laughing too.
Go down a short list to explain this if you would like.
No, we'll
Just
I
one
think
that
under
you-
the circumstances I rescind the question. We'll skip that. The bigger problem is what's going to happen when the rest of his Lord Hamanu's Templars can't draw on power. Chances are they're not going to think of trying me.
Well, not while you're here, but perhaps once you have been properly introduced to Yorick. I mean, we do have to go home at some point.
Bigger problem. This
We also don't
Hold
know the
on.
repercussions if so many more
Hold on.
people were to.
Antoria starts gesturing and casts the telepathic bond spell so that we can talk mentally instead of
Oh,
out
no.
loud.
Oh boy.
Look, the whole premise of this thing is that Homanu went off on his own will. If Templars suddenly start having trouble reaching him to draw their power, what conclusion do you think they're likely to draw? I assume this has never happened before, yes? I've certainly never heard of it.
Never.
Well, there were a few times I think when Cade maybe lost access to Lord Amanu's power.
We were in a dream that was pretending to be the future that was instituted by a Pyrene of unknown power.
During which I never tried to employ my powers.
Also, Zorr wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I thought it happened one time when I was part of the party, but I don't remember all the
Zammy
different
was
times.
there. It was like
Yeah.
right after Zammy joined the party.
Okay, there were a few other times I thought, but maybe.
So, you know the Templars better than I do. What are they likely to do if they start having this sort of trouble you are having drawing on their power from Lord Hamanu?
Well, there are a few possibilities.
Let's go through them, they're important.
The truth is that many of the Templar of Yorick their loyalty is based in power, so it is possible that they could feel unrewarded and underpaid.
Lovely.
If word gets out, they may have difficulty controlling certain aspects of the populace. Although, I mean, they're still competent warriors. We still have a militia. There's soldiers in the...
Their competence is not at issue if their loyalty is.
Well, there's a reason why when I wanted the two of us to return to Yorick and improve things, among that was going to be rooting out corruption within the Templaret.
Alright. I think I know what we need to do and I don't like it, but it's the only way to keep this thing together. Is there a Templar here among the army you trust?
Are there any Templar here that
Is,
I know?
is
The
that
Lord
guy you just
Captain?
promoted, Templar?
I mean, considering how long you've been away from the city.
Yeah, I don't think I know any of these.
Well, I mean, it's not so much that. It's like, you know plenty of them, but A, you're Cade.
Yeah.
And two, you were declared an outlaw and banished from the city.
It's like,
So-
do remember that I left the city in exile, and also the Templar that I was closest to had me murdered before I left. So,
That said, Joss seems like a straight shooter.
Is he a Templar?
among the Templar?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any
Like
officers
officer,
in
yeah.
the army are absolutely Templars.
Well,
But Joss's loyalty does seem quite legitimate.
a stroke of luck, perhaps. What I plan to do is ask him if he's been having any trouble drawing on his power.
to clarify, there are player classes, and plenty of those can be Templars. Cade is a paladin. Valaria was a spellcaster of some kind.
So,
There could well be, like Joss, Eldritch Knight Templars. That kind of
so if a Templar is not a paladin, they don't necessarily get their power from Hamanu? I'm getting a little fuzzy on it.
No, all of them draw their power from Hamanu or from their sorcerer, king, or queen in some way. But they can be whatever class.
Okay.
Like, Zammy was a sorceress.
Yes.
Her power came from Dragoth? But he's
Question
dead.
Yes.
Question marks?
So basically...
Well, remember when
Yeah.
Zammy tried on not more than one occasion to contact Dragoth for help, she met with no answer.
Yeah.
No.
But she was also able to cast spells.
So then the
And
question...
then she died.
So just to absolutely clarify,
Yes.
so Templars of any class would be experiencing difficulties theoretically. It wouldn't likely single out paladins for some reason.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be a dick move.
Yeah. So Antoria will basically outline his plan is to ask Joss if he's been having problems drawing on his power, and then propose that he try drawing from Antoria to see if that works for anyone else or if that was only just you. His broader idea is that if we have to replace the power source to keep them loyal, then we apparently have one, maybe, if it works for others at least.
That's a reasonable plan. I mean, we have to know.
We do.
I have only tried it with my abilities the once.
We should also find out what kind of strain it puts on you.
I felt barely anything. It was like just a very brief telepathic almost connection.
But again, you're not a Sorcerer King, as you yourself said, and if it does draw power from you, we don't know.
We have to find out. We can't risk the collapse of Uruk. And you can tell Antoria had a little difficulty with some of that words in that order. They're too important right now to what stability exists in this world.
It's also our home.
As you say.
Let's summon Joss and see what we learn.
Call him Joss.
Yes.
Sir!
Eddie's.
Here's the one leg.
Just stand as if you weren't in my presence and were just standing. Oh, this is going to take some time. All right.
Sir!
I have a rather delicate question for you.
Sir! I'm a man of utmost delicacy.
That's good.
The most delicate.
If you'll permit me, I need to cast a spell first. I want to ask you this question telepathically.
Sir, your will is law.
All right, another...
You...
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pass. And Joss is
Maybe
integrated...
not that delicate, sir.
and integrated into the telepathic net, but this net is only 2 people. So there's 2 separate ones going.
So we can't panic gallery.
Have you been having any trouble drawing on your powers that you received from my Lord Father? Be absolutely honest, it is important.
Sir! With my brain. Not one for frequent spellcasting, as it were, sir. No, a couple of advantageous abilities. Could try one now, if you're so interested.
Please do. Tell me if there are any difficulties of unusual nature.
Kona called the party.
Yeah.
Did Antoria see anything happen?
No, I haven't described what happened yet.
Oh, sorry.
Counterspell.
Just,
you're... Come on, who's dead? I'm the king!
Josh lifts his other hand up, and a small speck of light starts to form in it, but just as it starts to reach full mass, it seems to flicker and then disappear.
I assume that was not intended?
No, sir.
One moment. And switching to from
You need an
CompuServe.
advance signal.
Picks up
Switching
a
from
phone,
CompuServe to
puts that phone
AOL.
down, picks up the other.
He's apparently having
Here, hold,
difficulties.
Antoria.
How blasphemous is it going to be when I suggest he try drawing power from me instead?
Well,
Processing.
I mean, not blasphemous per se, although
Presumptuous.
that's a difficult question, Antoria.
Before I try this, why don't you try drawing power from me again, just to make sure it actually still works?
Well, also, Antoria, they regard you as the son of Manu. I'm pretty sure you hold a lot of standing with them.
Yes, well, it wouldn't be blasphemous, although understand that, think of Prince Daiger, or not Prince Dojek. It's not... There's a reason why Sorcerer Kings do not keep their children around.
Of course, but anyway, try it and see if it still works.
Understood. Cade will pick up a glass from the table and he'll pour a little water in his hands and he'll clap. And trying to draw through Antoria, he'll cast Bless on the party.
You have no difficulty doing so.
And Antoria, since he was aware of it, was trying to analyze what was happening to him a little better this time.
Sure.
Can you make an arcane check or some such?
Or
Or a different check if appropriate.
Arcana's fine.
Okay. That is... 13.
This is mysterious magic and not the sort you're familiar with.
This isn't written in a book.
Antoria switches back to CompuServe.
It's Joss, sir.
Good old
CompuServe.
CompuServe.
Yes, sir.
Anyway. It's possible that... Try drawing power from me instead and cast it again.
No light takes form.
Ah!
I see. That's unfortunate.
Sir,
Yes. For his part, Antoria steps back a little bit. Not steps back, kind of draws back a little bit. So almost surprised himself. I see. Antoria actually drops off of the net and begins speaking normally. I don't have
Look how worried he is, idiot.
Such a worrywart.
I don't necessarily have a full explanation for this. My father is a god, but I am not. Suffice it to say that for whatever reason, as Kate here originally reported, there have been some difficulties accessing the power my father grants to his Templarette. It seems that I am able to serve as a substitute.
sir, simply casting on its own yielded no results. But you have shown yourself to be a prince of Yurk, a commander in war, a conqueror. Faith is what drives a Templar, sir.
Let's see.
That faith in you, sir.
I think I understand.
Was that spoken aloud?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He switched to out loud.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I didn't
I'm
have
just
to-
always saluting, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't do the other hand, but you did the fire, so I couldn't. Out of character.
Sorry, sir. Only so many hands, sir.
CompuServe
Work
is
on
down.
that.
CompuServe is down.
I will be addressing the Templarettes soon. Can you gather all of them that are in the army?
Sir.
And I might as well let you know a little early. It is my intention to promote you to Lord Captain. Congratulations, you have earned it.
Happy to be of service, sir.
Excellent.
So that's actually fantastic news. The faith driving it. You were talking about having to root out people who were more corrupt. But if they have to be faithful in Antoria to be able to draw the power, that implies acknowledgement of him.
Faith and loyalty are not the same, however.
But it's still acknowledging.
My sister continued to draw power from presumably our Lord.
Kate is right, though. You can acknowledge something and not be loyal to it.
But regardless,
It will give us the stability we need, hopefully. I don't need the tablelands falling apart while we're in here doing who knows what.
It is interesting that in my time studying religion, I don't think I've ever heard that Templars necessarily their power is based on faith, but
For all
Who
that,
knows?
for all that the Templarette were our enemies, even the Veiled Alliance had only a very limited understanding of how it works.
Everyone give me a perception check.
Ha! Natural 1.
12.
You're in a tent of some kind.
11.
21.
Cade, you hear some sort of commotion outside.
Cade draws his work pick and busts out the front.
Just sweet. There appears to be some newcomers to the tent. There are just a gangly bunch of folks dressed in wasteland armor, and they're carrying banners. They are marching in, and people seem to be relatively fine with letting them in as they're passing out food.
Oh god. Oh god.
Cade will step outside and he'll stop. And he'll look between them. Are they from Antoria's last fucking recruitment?
Rock Six bursts through the crowd, and he's still wearing his armor and stuff, but he's also got these flowing white robes on top of it. He's got a little hoodie thing. Looks like a total hippie.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Hey!
Antoria, what have you done?
Stand down.
He drops the bread in his hands.
You approach the tent of Prince Antoria of Yorick. What is your purpose here?
Zorr eats the bread.
Oh my god.
It's not great. It's pretty stale.
Does it taste like conjure
To pay
bread?
homage, of course.
My lord Antoria, your worshippers are here.
Antoria casts Banish on himself.
Straight to the boyfriend zone.
Oh my god.
screw that. He cast Gate.
Yeah.
I'm never coming back. All right.
No, all of the tribe are, of course, like clanking together their jugging equipment and chanting, "Lord bread, Lord bread, Lord bread."
Grace of bread.
And now
Oh my
you
god!
can actually see that the banners seem to have just crude like loaves of bread. Only none of them managed to hit like the oval symbol. Like they're all just like little lumps.
It's like Uncanny Valley bread.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oblong bread.
Yeah.
What are your orders, my prince?
No, he's in another dimension.
The prince hasn't come out of the tent yet. The prince looks like he wants to die, but he hasn't come out of the tent yet.
Oh, this is delightful.
This is what going mad feels like.
I did warn
Sure
you.
enough, before too long, the rest of the army and some of the mercenaries have just started digging in. They're like, bread, 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 bread.
Zorr also bread. Bread.
Stop calling him that! Everybody stop saying bread!
Antoria picks up his sword and stalks out the front of the tent.
Prince Antoria will not be referred to as bread!
Prince
They
Brentoria.
were excited about the bread. They weren't calling him
He
bread.
called them, he literally said Lord.
Prince Antoria of the bread.
Zorak actually, the Klut's actually saying that.
No.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm wiser than
Antoria
that.
looks around.
Antoria!
Roxix,
Hello!
I greet you.
I thought for the longest time that I was the best in the land. But no, you, the miracle worker, you have brought bread to us.
I mean, I could have told you Antoria was better than you from the beginning, Roxy. Could have just asked.
He just sort of gently we are here to serve, to do what you will in exchange for the blessings of bread you have rained down upon the wasteland. All hail! Bread, 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 bread!
Bread!
How many have you brought with you?
63.
Well, that's all right.
Well, Roxix himself is quite formidable.
I'm big too, I can eat for 3 or 4.
Well, as you can see,
The Brog marches up and pats his belly.
Is that the one that ripped my arms off? Yes. Zorr's just kind of like.
as you can
Shit
see,
happens.
I currently lead the army of Uruk. May I take it that you petitioned to join the army of Uruk?
Who am I to say no? I hadn't even really noticed. I was more focused on the bread.
Understandable.
Zorr will send you a message I'm sure you know this, but he's already switched allegiances once. Although it's useful to have more numbers.
Better to have him somewhere I can keep an eye on him. Very well. I will make the necessary preparations.
Bread, 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 bread. All right, thank you.
Rest assured, you will have plenty of food.
Fastest,
Roxix has joined the party.
fastest way to a Dre's heart is through food. Or
Okay.
bread, I guess.
Well, Antoria will detail the appropriate people to see them.
The
settled.
breadmancers.
No. The appropriate people to see them settled in with
Yeah.
settled instructions to keep an eye on them and keep them out of trouble for now.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even that much. They had to have eaten.
You remember how impressed you were with it once you discovered it?
I knew the significance of it. I didn't expect.
I thought you said you gave them enough to feed their whole army.
Yeah,
It
a lot.
was quite a lot.
But 3 meals.
I mean, that's a lot.
There were hundreds of them.
Have you lived on these tables before?
I have.
Well, regardless,
It could be hard to
congratulations
find a
on your
meal
new
out there.
followers, my Prince Antoria. Wonderful. Regardless, as I was saying before Roxix arrived, the Templar's power is driven by faith, and I have always had faith in you. I've long held that the two of us could improve York together, and I thought that,
Well, here we are.
well, I thought it would be as...
This is Nibenay.
Hey, Cassia.
Hello. Oh, all right. Bye.
I thought it would be as friends,
Aw.
but if it is as a Templar in service, then that's acceptable to me as well.
I'm getting a headache, I think.
Well,
Oh, don't worry. No.
Kate starts massaging
Yeah.
Antoria.
That's very presumptuous,
Yeah.
to lay your hands upon your lord.
Well, the army is mostly gathered to do that spectacle. If you wish to address them, perhaps now is the best time.
I'm never going to get used to this part.
Sir.
Ah, yes.
Well, you could lock yourself into a shadow tower for the rest of your life, and then it wouldn't be a problem anymore.
That didn't really work out. Anyway, everyone is gathered then?
Sir.
Alright. Then I will address them momentarily. Thank you. And
Okay,
Antoria
but
kind
do
of...
be cautious about the bread situation. No. Because you've already raised concerns about drawing the ire of the other sorcerer kings. You understand that information was secret for a reason. Don't start just throwing it about.
Going to... Jeez, you think
You mean again?
You don't think I've learned my lesson after this?
I was
know.
hoping his speech was going to open where he's just throwing
Yeah, I know.
magic bread.
That's honestly what Kate was concerned about.
Cone
It's
of
like,
bread.
It's like Oprah with bread.
Exactly.
You get a bread.
There's a Skyrim mod where it changes your Fusro Da into cheese for everyone.
Oh yeah.
You get a bread. You get a bread.
So,
Everyone gets a bread.
before you give a big speech to the crowd, I'm going to say some inspiring words and advice on public speaking, because
Antoria
She knows-
looks
she knows you're
ridiculously
nervous.
grateful.
yeah, she knows you're nervous, so she's going to like try and calm you down and be like, okay,
Well,
you've already spoken to them once before.
Little King's Speech montage.
Yeah,
but this
there
time,
you go.
this time he's having to say something uncomfortable about the Templar switching thing.
And this is the thing, you
all serve
you
me
need
now.
to not be uncomfortable. Remember, they work for you now.
You know what?
You're the boss, and this is something that becoming comfortable with is going to be important
Okay,
because they need to have faith in you.
That is true, and if anyone
Why are
raises
you
issue with it, we can just cut their heads off.
Yeah, seriously.
Why are you all talking like this is some sort of permanent condition?
Well, do you feel
I mean,
this is
strictly
important?
speaking, it
Are you-
doesn't.
Are you temporarily Hamanu's son?
Thank you, Cassia, for putting it much better.
You're
than I could.
welcome.
Antoria, if you wish, I could also help you more with this speech.
Oh.
What?
Oh, this we've got
Zorr
to see.
will put
Kate
one
takes a breath.
of his hands on you.
Eggs
He'll
for
cast-
everyone.
He'll cast eggs all over you. You'll be covered in eggs. He'll cast enhance ability, charisma.
Oh snap!
All right.
And so you have a D12 bonus if you have to roll for this, but you probably won't.
Well, we'll see.
But we're just laying it on.
All right.
So you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
He's
You
feeling
gave magical
better.
You gave magical self-esteem.
Yeah.
So
He had a pretty big deficit when it comes to addressing the army of his sworn enemies that he's reluctantly leading to keep the world from falling apart. Okay. Victoria marches out into the, I guess, area in front of the army wherever they've been gathered.
Yeah, the mustering ground. Hang on, let me find something.
Man, I haven't used that the entire game.
yeah,
It's like one of the best spells in the
I
entire
know.
game.
I know.
Very good.
I just never get a good opportunity, and I use it for a speech.
Hey, it's an important
works.
speech.
Yeah.
He's about to basically tell the Templar, hey, you should switch who you're
Oh,
making your
that's
connections to.
Yes.
Lord, yes.
There you go.
Edgar, my lord? Oh, wait.
So he marches out in front of them.
Kate will flank him.
He looks out at them and waits for them to quiet down, which I don't know how long that usually takes an army, but
It's
Quarter second.
you're-
It should be
Yeah.
very fast.
they're very quiet.
Like, yeah, there's gonna be some fucking lashings if they're
Someone coughs and they just get beat immediately.
You are
Quietly.
not. No, you're not kidding. That does not happen when Hamanu walks out.
all right. Antoria waits for a good moment, just looking out.
No, I mean they're completely
No,
silent.
no, I know. He knows they're silent now, but he's looking out for a complete moment.
Tension.
And he starts off by saying, "We came, we saw, we liberated." He raises his sword.
Ah! Everyone seems pretty pleased with that.
Yep.
Is there a meter right now? It's like,
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh god, if
We
they
will be
were God
assist-
against us in this speech.
We will shortly begin assisting Prince Dojad in securing the rest of the city. While there is to be no looting and pillaging, you will be well rewarded when the task is complete.
Ah! This seems also to have pleased them.
Okay?
Should turn down the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep screaming.
I'll give Herbie a moment because Herbie is still trying to figure out the wording for how to tell Templars to change their source.
Who's your god now?
My Lord Father's journeys have taken him further from us than I ever imagined. His work and his task are very important. But in the meantime, his distance has made it a little more difficult to draw upon his power. I ask that, instead, you draw upon your belief in me. Antoria glances at Cade a little bit.
Zorr
He casts the message spell without even bothering to hide it. Says a demonstration of successful Templar power use wouldn't be bad right now.
Cade will draw his war pick and cast daylight, and will light up.
Do you falter a bit too?
No, I was trying not to. I mean, I'm stuck between Herbie having to be better at this, as good at this as Antoria's trying to be. But yeah.
So he'll just hold his radiant war pick up and like, I don't know if that does anything.
Well, I mean, they seem to have mellowed a little bit. There's less like shifting in the ranks and that kind of thing. They seem to have returned to sort of a neutral kind of standpoint.
Antoria kind of seems actually almost relaxed a little and says, I understand this is unusual and that you probably have questions. My father is a god. If he was here, I'm sure he would have the answers. I'm only the son of the god, but I have led you to victory here, and I will lead you to victory again. Believe in me, and we will complete all of the tasks my father has asked of us. And he raises his sword, and it also lights up.
Ah! For the lion! For the lion!
Alright. You have done my father proud. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You have done my father proud, and you do me proud. I look forward to further victory together. Dismissed.
So they don't seem like overwhelmingly excited, but it was still a positive ending, I think.
Alright. Antoria looks a little twitchy, but after he gets safely out of view of the army, most of the army of York. Well, it didn't go as bad as I feared, but
It will take time.
Perhaps you should have mentioned also going to rescue Manu, but...
Antoria jumps visibly when you say that out loud.
See, that's the kind of stuff I was hoping for. That's what we should have had Zorak say up on stage. That would have been great.
We are not making it public knowledge that my Lord Manu has been captured.
Antoria rapidly messages Zorak. You do understand their entire...
Excuse me.
Oh, Zorak the Klutz.
Yeah.
Well, that was Herbie saying the target for a spell, not Antoria speaking out loud.
That's everyone.
I can't speak to the laws of the universe.
Fair enough. You do understand their entire belief system is based on him being an infallible god. We cannot go off to rescue him.
I also understand a number of them saw him pulled through a gate by his number one nemesis. Do you doubt word of that has spread through the ranks?
The response to that is not, now we have to go rescue him. It is, the lion has never failed.
No, clearly that's not it, but...
Do you think that you know this better than me?
No.
Good, then be silent on it.
And besides, if that were true, the army would have fallen apart already. There's been no sign of that.
There has been, a fair number of deserters along the way.
Zorr is also going to say, well, you just told them their power is faltering. Is it better to hide that secret and
Yes.
lose their trust?
If they have
We
faith
don't know
in him,
what's
they have
happened any
power.
better than-
That's going to build trust.
The arrow's been shot. If there were problems with the idea, the time to bring them up was 5 minutes ago. Regardless, let's get ready to deal with the city.
I trust in your judgment.
I wish I did. Alright. Well, I guess we're getting ready for the
Boy,
city.
what an exciting morning.
Indeed.
Shall we?
Oh, you do understand Roxix is here as an ally now, yes?
I think just the sentence Roxix is here says it all, don't you?
Indeed.
Well,
There's no real accounting for much more beyond that.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
fair, but for the moment, appearances and all.
Oh, sure, we wouldn't want to look bad in front of Roxix.
Well, we wouldn't want to look bad in the people who don't know our history with him and would wonder why a bunch of people who came here cheering us were suddenly being attacked by us.
Oh, Dre are people now. That's rich, says the giant buck man.
Yeah, I know.
Regardless, I assume your forces are ready to begin going into the city. Let's be off.
Begin your march towards the city. On your way, you are intercepted by the messenger that you'd sent on to the Temple of the Exalted Path,
Excellent.
who reports that Lord Diger will be happy to meet you at the city gates.
All right. Excellent.
And sure enough, unless there's anything in particular that you guys want to address on your way to Nibenay, you cross past the battleground and up to the city gates itself, which are lying wide open for you as the advance party from the mercenaries of Dehojakt and the Urukari forces have come in and sort of occupied at least the merchant district here in front. And sure enough, waiting in front is Lord Diger, who seems maybe a little scrappier than the last time you saw him. It looks as though he's been getting down and dirty. It looks like he's taken a few scars along the way. He's wearing leather armor. He's got an eye patch.
Hey, shit. All right.
Welcome back.
I greet you.
Is it Your Highness now?
No, Antoria.
It's Prince
For
Antoria.
you, no.
It is.
He would
To everyone.
say totally.
He would say that, but Antoria actually corrects him. For you, it is Antoria.
Okay.
I feel like I should stick the prince on there just in case, depending on who's hanging around.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you insist, but
Who's this abomination that's standing next to you?
Which one? Zorex here.
He's talking about Cassia.
I'm Casimir.
So many abominations.
There are a lot of abominations.
Antoria
You
kind
have
of
to
remains
narrow
awkwardly
down.
silent because he's actually
Yeah,
waiting
he's, like,
for a
trying to
little
figure
more
out-
clarification. Like,
Like
who do I insult
Kate's
by?
morally monstrous.
We will speak of my companion shortly. May we speak privately somewhere, briefly?
Of course.
All right.
Gestures towards the luscious city gardens that make up the
Right.
entrance to the city.
And Antoria will actually motion for you three to come along. He meant privately from like everybody else in the city. I insist that you call me Antoria because I am here to beg your forgiveness.
You can't really tell. I mean, it looks like he's just raising both eyebrows because one is like,
Antoria produces the 2 coins of Nibenay. The one that you gave me for safekeeping is lost. I cannot return that one to you. I can only offer these 2 and hope that you will consider it a fair return on investment.
he takes the necklace, nods. I think I won out playing the long game. Thank you.
I will tell you 2 further things. I lost the coin to save the life of a valued friend's father. I would have given it up for no other reason. The second thing I would tell you is that Lord Sham thought to buy power using one of the 3 that he had. Recall where it got him before you think to use one yourself.
We're here in a liberated Nibenay. I still have my life. I don't think I have any cause to complain about my coin being spent in such a good fashion.
Do you need to reboost your mic?
Oh, thank you.
And we're past the yelling and screaming for part of the hour.
I mean, I'm
For
still
now.
Yeah, the next hour, you know.
I think that with me here, alive, and Sham is dead, my coin couldn't have been spent better. Thank you, Antoria.
You're welcome. And Antoria will message Zorr. Can you do anything about his eye?
Perhaps, yes. Yeah, I can attempt to cast Regenerate on him. First I'll, of course, ask him, like, Antoria has asked me to bestow another favor upon you. I believe I can restore your eye.
Oh,
It's just normal eye.
I just, I mean, we don't have much of a rebellion here, but looking the part kind of helped.
So he just has this. Okay.
Antoria laughs for the first time in about a couple of weeks, probably. Well, I'm glad to see that things were perhaps not quite as hard on you as I thought they had been.
Well, don't get me wrong. My house still burned down, and all my pigs are dead.
I do remember that
Can we not bring that up?
strange blizzard in the middle of Athos weather, never to be explained.
Why does Zorr look embarrassed?
Yeah, Zorr
by
feels
this?
a strange chill
That's
over
weird.
it.
So did those pigs.
Oh,
The ghost of characters
man.
past.
I'm gonna miss those pigs.
They were the
Well, at any
best.
rate,
They were some pigs.
order will soon be restored in Nibenay.
Cast Revivify on the pigs.
No need. I can wish for all the pigs I want.
Horrible demonic pigs, but sure.
All of Athos is filled with pigs.
More pig.
The trick-
More
Was it
pig.
Aprigs?
Well,
Aprigs,
I
yeah.
thank you for accepting the slight amending of the terms of our original agreement, and I wish you luck in your future endeavors. If you'll excuse me, I have this city to finish liberating, apparently.
Of course.
Good luck.
He heads off.
Antoria returns to the main army, I guess.
Yeah.
Those were
Wondering why we gave both of them.
Yeah, those
like,
were-
that.
those are powerful artifacts. You must have voted quite.
You have plenty of powerful artifacts.
That's
We're
true. No, they
running
got
a little
taken
bit
away
lower.
from us.
We're
Oh,
running
yeah,
lower
that's
on
right.
those these days.
Yeah,
Ask
good.
Sham how powerful they were.
I have a wooden sliver.
They allowed him to stand up against the Urukhari army by himself.
Until someone healed him.
Again,
Do you have inspiration?
No.
Please take a point.
Regardless, it's done.
agreed. And again, I said I trust your judgment.
Yes,
so.
There is
that
one
does
of-
seem to be quite untrue, but you do keep saying that.
There is one other further point to
It's
it.
one thing to trust and one
Antoria-
thing to question occasionally.
Antoria looks a little uncomfortable at this. My father and
So what else is new?
My father and your lord has a certain reputation of always being truthful. It would have done me no favors to have someone running about the newly liberated city saying that I would broken word with him.
Of course.
If it only cost 2 wishes to see that right, it was a small price.
I have no questions about how you handled that, Prince.
Never mind. All right. What do we? You know how to run armies. What do we need to do here exactly? Kind of looks around.
we should be moving through the streets looking for any stragglers, anyone else who may still hold loyalty to Sham. Although I do hope that that's diminishing.
Joss is taking care of a lot of the logistics. The army is basically just operating itself at this point.
Yeah, can we just trust that to the army and then try and do our objective?
But it's not a
'Cause-
TRPG, so like we gotta just like get move on.
Yeah.
Although we should.
Your food is getting low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if only there was a solution. Like
Where's that bread can when we need it?
So, one small thing. Herbie absolutely forgot something ridiculously important, and Antoria would have probably slit his wrist before he forgot.
Okay.
He was supposed to promote someone during that speech.
No, you
Yeah.
promoted him in the tent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I totally flicked out on that then. Never mind.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. That would have been terrible to have forgotten that. Okay, cool. Then we begin moving through the streets and
Sure.
helping and basically observing. more than-
Incidentally, that's a pretty poor claim, given that your shield would just flash the moment you tried to slash yourself.
it's true.
Yeah.
You have no difficulty, of course, moving up through the main street, up to the front gates of the Naggaramakam. The stone visages of the bearded face of Nibenay stare down at you from positively every angle. Dojak waddles up to the entrance.
So here we are.
Are you joining us?
I think we're joining him.
I mean, I assume you want to go in, right?
Indeed.
How did it keep Sham out so effectively, and how do you plan to get in? Not that I doubt you can, but I am curious about these things.
Blood right, I assume.
Give it a shot.
Zorr walks up.
It doesn't budge.
It
It doesn't budge. Are you trying 3 arms
all
now?
4 arms.
It does not
You
budge.
know, if that was going to work, I think Lord Sham could have just leaned against it.
True.
Yeah.
So how do we get in?
I think he doesn't fix it.
Dojak,
Key.
Dojak lays a hand on the handle and pulls it open.
There you go. That was delightful.
I assume that wouldn't have worked for just anyone.
Actually, only their bloodline knows that it's a pull, not a push.
Family secrets.
It's a spell that's cast.
It's labeled push.
Yeah.
So that's the trick.
Reading is illegal.
There's a picture of hands on it.
Come on in.
I assume this place will probably be highly dangerous. I assume you're all prepared.
No doubt.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Prepared as
us.
ever.
We go to dangerous places and we follow
Fair.
guys with centipede bottom torsos.
Then lead the way, Prince Toby.
Oh, here I thought I was special. You make your way into the forbidden fortress of the Naggaramakam.
Not so forbidden anymore.
It is just as gaudily decorated on the inside as it is on the outside. There are literally sculptures and mosaics and murals on every square inch. It seems like even the spots where like a picture ends and there's a little bit of gap between there and the wall, someone has like filled in entire stories worth of hieroglyphics.
Oh, it's not
Up
all
and
just
down.
Nibenay.
I
all
mean,
Nibenay.
there's a lot of Nibenay, but
Okay.
there's also like scenes of Nibenay's conquests and just scenes of horrific beasts fighting one another and armies clashing against one another. Scenes of mythology and scenes of the city's tremendous history and the war against Gulg. These people do not get along with Gulg. Gulg is all about preserving the forests and making sure that everything is just as the Oba has dictated. Nibenay is all about sawing that shit down and turning it into houses. Because that's where the money is.
Getting some decorating ideas?
Antoria looks really grumpy at Cassia.
Wow, busts of Antoria everywhere. It's a horrifying thought.
You two.
Could be tasteful.
Are you two really going to keep doing that?
Well,
You wander down torchlit hallways. You see occasionally glimpses of Templar feet as they skirt away down corridors and closing doors and trying their best just to stay out of your way, trying to make sure that whatever vengeance Dojak plans on wrecking, they aren't part of it. Until eventually you come to a massive throne room where set up on a high set of stone stairs is a tremendous obsidian throne that sits empty. And sitting in front of it, sort of kneeling on a small pillow, is a young girl. She looks like maybe 8 or
8 or 9.
8 or 9 or so.
Cassia Casconical.
Long, pale hair.
killing kids.
She's dressed as one of the Templars of Hamanu.
I assume you mean
Hamanu?
Excuse me.
Oh shit!
I think I've done that before in Nibenay. Excuse me. Dressed as one of the Templars of Nibenay.
That would have been a reveal.
It would have been really good. And she raises her head at your entrance.
Greetings. I'm Prince Antoria of Uruk.
Hello.
Who are you?
Give me one quick second. I wrote this down.
Namegenerator.com.
No, she actually does have a name is the thing. I forgot to write it down.
Oh. So is her name in like brackets? Like this is one of the important ones?
It's sitting at the screen where like you can name her.
Yeah. is it Nibenay backwards?
It's not Nibenay backwards.
Oh wait, can we name her?
You can name her whatever you want.
Oh goodness.
Except
okay,
you
guys.
can't.
Oh, you got my hopes up and dashed them.
We
feel-
went back bantering about Antoria's bus and like, would he instead of having lion heads have like tanger, like bird stuff?
Oh, there could be a big bird.
Yeah, would it be bird themed? Or maybe just orange shields everywhere.
If I asked you to silence them, do you think you could do it without hurting them?
That's not exactly my specialty.
Wouldn't want to tax your abilities.
Regardless, and
I was kidding.
Antoria's symbol would be much more fitting to be the Tree of Life, I would assume.
That's fair. That's actually a good one.
with Tangerine in it.
I
A
think
few birds flying around it.
I think just a treat. It might compete with Gulg, but our trees are better.
Or maybe he's more considerate to Marcus. He wouldn't do birds on it.
Who's Marcus?
It's true.
That makes sounds familiar.
You wouldn't want Marcus swatting at every one of the. Oh no, I'm.
You know you'd like it.
These are things to think about. Just the presentation is important.
When we've saved Athos, look forward to a brighter future.
Forward to going back to not leading an army.
I feel so foolish.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So the banter continues.
Yeah, go for it.
Cade will say, well, I have long held that Marcus would be an excellent champion, but if you're completely convinced.
If he ever wakes up.
His
We got
propensity
a doll
for
that-
swearing an oath to many, many different powers has
Oh my
not
gosh.
yet allowed him to succumb to the lion's will, but perhaps you could be more of an influence upon him.
Oh
He
Lord!
never met the lion, did he?
By the elements.
He has sworn oaths to anything and everything that he has come across or not.
As
Oh,
long as
other than the
as long as they present power to him.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking that if he never actually met Hamas, he would have he's met Antoria, so that might be enough.
That's the last thing I want to be. Marcus's 7th or 8th oath of allegiance.
Well, you needn't make him a lord captain, but as a warrior and a champion, it's quite impressive.
I need no oaths from him or anyone else. I've never held much stock in them. When have you ever known me to take one?
Well, I mean, you have your oath to your cause.
It's not an oath.
Yet you're a natural leader.
Well, let's not go too far.
There
No
is
offense.
one thing you can't deny, though, from what we're learning now, is there is power to oaths and faith. That drives a force. That's a force that can be tapped and actualized. This is something to study and consider and use in our goal.
And exploit.
Well,
Excuse
Cassia,
me. And exploit.
Cassia thought it very loudly and didn't say it, but yeah.
Which is better? Well, I wonder which is going to be more annoying, being whatever I'm becoming or being a study project.
Or being chained to us forever and ever.
Antoria, do you not want to study this? Do you see a wealth of arcane power and mystery in the world? And
It stops
not
being
want to-
interesting when it starts being you.
I have to admit, from a religious perspective, it is very interesting as well. I've studied
Actually,
many things before and not heard much of this in
I was curious if this was the same way as your.
Please tell me you have a
So, so let's say that's banter
Okay,
in the
no,
hallways.
I was
Yeah.
no,
That's good. No, that's very good. Thank
Yes.
you for tolerating me. I
Oh,
wanted to make sure that I got the name right because it's one of the last little bits of stuff from like the actual lore books and stuff like
Ooh,
that.
so we
I
can
wanted to
Google
make
this
sure.
later.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The small child lifts her head and says, "Hello."
Greetings. I'm Prince Antoria of Uruk. I greet you, but who are you?
I am Siemhook.
It's good to meet you. We are actually here to see Lord Nibenay. Do you know where he is?
He is below.
May you lead us below to see him.
Why?
One of
Dojak skitters forward and starts climbing up towards the throne. I'm gonna have to get this resized, obviously, but it'll do. It'll do.
troubled times have come to the Tablelands. A sorcerer king that I believe Lord Nibenay once worked with his peers to defeat has come back, Lord Dragoff.
Can we look around? Are there any depictions of that battle?
There are not, no.
Okay.
Notably, there seem to be far fewer sorcerer kings around these days than there were last time, and it took nearly all of them to defeat him then. His return is, well, to put it plainly, not a good thing. We'd like to speak to him and see if he is willing to help put this threat down a second time.
Come with me.
Right?
She gets up slowly. Casts a bit of a glance at Dojak. And then concentrates. And the whole of the throne begins.
While he's on it.
I'm getting vertigo. And the whole thing, like Legend of Zelda, like slides out of the way. Thank you. revealing, of course, a downward set of stairs, which Siam Hook begins to descend.
We follow.
Antoria will follow.
They turn into a ramp.
They do not turn into a ramp. Everyone give me a perception check.
Real good at these. 20.
22.
Also good.
19 and 22.
21.
Okay.
Cheapers.
Half of you, I think, have... Do you have dark vision?
That's an excellent question. I actually don't think I
Actually, maybe you don't.
do. I don't think I do.
So, this stairway, unlike the halls that you passed in the throne room, is not lit by torches, nor are there any skylights or anything like that. It is completely and utterly pitch black, and you can see only really like the step in front of you, or someone that is like literally right in front of you. Cassia, you in particular note that it seems utterly dark to you as well, despite the fact that you can usually see perfectly well in the dark.
Antoria will try lighting a call and seeing if that produces any visible light.
It produces a radiant glow immediately around you, or rather, immediately around the sword, but nothing beyond that.
Oh, magic darkness. Lovely.
What's your marching order?
That is an excellent question.
Kate's pointing at Antoria.
I'll take up the rear then.
Antoria will take front.
I'll be in the middle.
Standard Zorr.
Okay.
Someone's gonna be leaving eggs behind for us to follow back.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Alright. And marching forward that way. So is the light doing no good whatsoever? It's just that limited?
You can see like literally like an inch out from the blade, but that's about
not
it.
helping at all. So
Sure.
He'll turn it back off.
Sure. And you're immediately behind Antoria? Okay. When he puts out call, you can't see anything anymore.
Oh. Do you say something
Yeah.
about that? Okay.
Cade will like instinctively put a hand on your back, and then he'll like pull it away.
His back is not there.
Oh,
Can Cassia see Cade?
Prince.
You can.
Can?
You can, yes.
Can I hear what he just said?
Nope.
Oh.
You may be right on the cusp of a portal. And Cade will.
Cassia puts her hand on Cade so she doesn't like lose contact. And
You
reaches
find him.
back for
Okay.
Zorak.
You find it.
Zorr.
Cade will take one stride forward.
Yeah. Zorr grabs on the Cassia's.
You don't, unfortunately.
No.
As soon as you reach, you're not.
Hello?
You hear nothing.
I'm just gonna march forward then. That's where everyone else went.
So was Antoria hearing footsteps behind him and now suddenly isn't?
Yes.
Okay, Antoria will stop as soon as he realizes he's not hearing anything anymore.
You and Zorak have both found yourselves completely alone. Although not alone together, you both perceive yourselves as alone on this staircase.
Antoria? Is that you there? Hello?
I assume you said we're not
Oh,
together.
you mean we're alone?
You were
But not
separately
separate.
alone.
Oh, I
together.
think that we were alone. Okay,
No,
gotcha.
no. So I assume with 30-foot range, that's not working.
Yeah.
No, there's no mental contact to be found.
I mean,
Probably would
Cassia
call for
together.
Antoria next.
No
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, Cade will he'll reach in front of him. And it's just completely black.
Mhm.
Like, Prince.
Antoria will like
Lord
call him
Antoria.
as soon as he realizes something's happened.
Okay.
He's a little frustrated.
Zorr will continue to march forward in the direction we were being led.
Should we move forward?
I don't know that we have much choice.
Cassia's gonna step alongside Cade and they're just gonna like, I guess, hold hands or something.
You can hold on to like his fucking leg like you're a child at the grocery store.
God
Antoria will
damn the height difference.
Antoria will take out the immovable rod and kind of use it to poke in front of him as he's moving.
Sure.
Gently, of course.
Cassia, as you reach to grab hold of Cade's hand, and you do manage to do that, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Cade will whip around. That's
She's gonna look
completely
through
black,
whose
right?
hand is this?
You see Gil behind you. You don't find Cassia there.
Fuck!
Cassia! Oh, blazes.
I mean, Cassia sees Gil, she immediately attacks.
Okay.
Like, that's just...
With what?
She's going to... Fuck. She knows other people are on the stair, and she can't do multi-target. She's going to do destructive wave single targeting.
Okay.
So, roll
Lay
damage.
it on me.
Okay, I have to look up the spell. I wasn't expecting combat, sorry.
Didn't someone specifically ask if you were ready?
Yeah.
For anything,
No less than the Prince of Uruk himself asked you if you were ready.
Yeah.
You
Already
were
doing a
you were-
big head.
You were too busy bantering about his banners and bust.
That's what he did to the dragons, banners and
yeah.
bust.
It's a lovely bust.
So, thunder damage is going to be 15, and then radiant damage is going to be, that's 12.
So, this blast of sound and force hits Gil, and he immediately shatters. He turns into like a dozen puzzle pieces, basically. Like if you were to put like a 3D model in Unreal and said, "Here, fracture this," and they like and like hover in place,
Oh.
and then like back together.
As Gil?
Yeah.
Did anyone else hear or see
No.
anything?
No
Yeah.
one's perceived any of this.
Alright.
Gil looks at you.
What's this about?
You're not here.
Then where am I? Shit.
You say that? Cassie says that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So she looks around, she still can't see anything, there's just Gil standing in front.
No, actually, once you look around, he disappears.
Oh, fuck. And I've lost Kate.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's some good news.
Thank God we're not trapped together.
Yeah. I mean, he's the dude. If someone's gonna snap and start killing, like
no,
like on the
she's been-
spaceship, shut jettison him first.
She has been stabbed by Cade repeatedly.
Most of us have.
Cade has destroyed her familiar.
That's
who
going around.
she should try and summon. So she's gonna try and summon little buddy.
Little buddy does not appear.
Actually, Tandra was with Antoria. Is Tandra still around?
Tandra is not, actually.
Okay.
Cassia's gonna go ahead and cast Message to Cade. Or, I'm sorry, Sending, which can be literally anywhere on the same plane.
Or even on a different one with a
Or even on-
95% success rate.
Yes.
It can.
So...
It does not work. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Worst I can do is 14.
I know, it would have been better to roll a 1.
Yeah, seriously. 14 Arcana.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
yes.
I'm gonna
Oh,
inspire myself.
Okay.
Fucking 16.
16.
That's a threshold. At
I'll
least.
tell you what.
Yeah,
There,
that's not
you
bad.
notice. You know, you're looking around. At this point, you're a little bit on the verge of freak out mode. You're not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking for something, anything, and you are like looking at the walls, trying to see if there's like some hidden switch or something like that, like the camera from Punked or something, like hidden on
Well,
the
yeah,
walls.
or something to turn off the spell. She's been either isolated or
Yeah.
mind affected. She's going through like the list of things this could be that
Sure.
she knows. Finding comfort in.
So you notice something weird about the wall, and that you can only see like some of the bricks that are here. And there's one brick that seems to be like swapping places, almost like they're instantly transposing themselves. And there's one brick that's just like making a circuit like around the wall.
She ever seen anything like this before? She's gonna poke at the brick. See if
Give me a
Poke check.
give me a strength save.
Yeah. save is going to be 11.
Okay. You cautiously take a poke, and it's like sticking your hand in a vacuum cleaner. There's just immediately like a...
Did it just like pull me all the way in?
Basically, yeah. You feel yourself like basically like congealing and... And you find yourself in a room. You find yourself in a rectangular room where the walls seem to be made of like a hyper-saturated version of the vision of the stars that you saw out the window of the spaceship that you took to the moon. Remember when you went to the moon?
That was great. Yeah,
that was
actually
alright.
the highlight of her life.
The floor, the walls, the ceiling, all of that looks like this weird starry expanse, only it's like super blown out. There's more colors than you'd really expect to see in space. And there is a banquet table here that is just loaded up with all sorts of food. And there are very, very elaborate chairs. And Antoria and Cade and Zorr are all sitting here. And at the head of the table, at the foot of the table, there is a figure, a tall figure, regal, sitting perfectly still, that matches the visage you've seen plastered all over the Naggaramakam, the sorcerer king Nibenay. And at the head of the table, you see a tall, gray dragon. A dragon in shape, with tattered wings and torn wounds all over him. Maybe 9 or 10 feet tall, but still like appropriately sized enough to be able to make it at the banquet table and not look completely absurd.
He's just holding like a tea glass tiny in his hand.
And the rest of you are yourselves. They're not projections
Oh,
that
okay.
Cassia
Oh,
has
is this
seen.
really all of them?
Yeah.
Like shit, that's like
Each of you has arrived here at
Okay.
this
Oh, in that case,
table.
Okay, that's Zorak.
Okay.
Any of the food that you cram in your mouth turns basically into ash as soon as you shove down.
Kate darts.
I assume you keep trying for like 7 minutes.
Well, I stopped for a moment, like, oh, that was gross. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the chicken legs are different.
Kate darts between Antoria and the dragon.
Oh, you try to get up?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll start to push to his feet like he's gonna hop the table.
Okay. You managed to do this.
Yeah, he'll just hop across the table and take point.
And you find yourself, as soon as you like launch forward, like just immediately like sitting back down.
Interesting.
We have thoughtful guests. They don't want us to injure ourselves, perhaps.
I believe we're the guests, Prince.
So am I standing?
Hosts, I guess.
The
Is it
giant
like-
Yes,
is
you're-
terrible.
So it's like I walked in.
Yes, basically.
I'm
They
sure
need-
you're all wondering why I've gathered you.
Yeah.
Cade, we're your friends,
Yeah.
and we're here to help you. We're concerned about you. You have a problem.
Yes, physical problems.
You keep killing sisters.
I'm out now, so it's fine.
Yeah, your problem is
Hit
solved.
0.
My Lord Nibenay, thank you for allowing us your presence. Tony the Dragon, I'm...
So Nibenay makes no response at this, and indeed seems to be utterly like...
stuck. Interesting. And then she refers to the dragon. I'm sorry, my lord, I do not know your name. But greetings.
I'm sure you could take a guess. Please, have a seat.
Yes. Does she have any familiarity with this dragon?
The voice matches that that you recognize from the dream of the 1,000 years of the cleansing wars as the Dread King Dragoth.
Interesting.
Kate will
Okay.
say.
Cassia has a seat.
Where is Simone?
Right where I want him.
That's extraordinarily unclear.
Do you know what a cat most dislikes? It's getting dunked in water.
He got dunked on.
Oh, That's a good thing water
Just
doesn't
being
exist.
held. A cat whether big or small, craves freedom, individuality. Humanu demands loyalty from his subjects, demands complete conformity, but he himself would shrivel away, forced under such conditions himself. Or at least, that's what I'm counting on.
Interesting.
Is it you who's seeking to break the barrier between worlds?
Yes, we understand you have cause to hate Hamanu, but what is your goal here? What is your...
This world is finished. Once I dreamt of godhood, to be greater than any in the land. But Boreas is greatest in the land now, and look how well that's worked out. King of a dying planet, of a world so far beyond any hope, any manner of preservation. Imagine the wonders that a living world would be able to present to a mind capable of grasping the mysteries of the universe, of someone determined enough.
What about one who has the determination to restore this planet?
Indeed, it is not completely gone to us yet.
You are brave, you are resourceful, you are utterly without compromise. But why? Why spend such energy on such a task that is so stacked against you?
It is what
Imagine
we know.
what-
It's our home.
Everything since my very birth has been stacked against me. Every
all
step
of
has been a
us.
fight for me. This should be no different.
Imagine a world that does not attempt to extinguish the life out of you from the moment you emerge from the womb. Imagine a world where people care about one another, a world where people work together to the betterment of all. Imagine a world where there is hope, there is life, there is laughter. Imagine a world that is not the brutal wasteland of Athos. Imagine what you could do in such a world.
Do you wish to make this world or conquer it? What's your goal when you get out?
And at what cost?
Here I am, a sorcerer king, a would-be dragon. What am I in this next world? Perhaps in one, I am the lion. Perhaps in another, I am an ant. I don't know, but I want to. I simply want something different, something other than this despicable sand and fire.
That world you asked us to imagine. Every preserver dreams of it. We dream to make this world into the world you speak of, and it is possible. I have seen the means myself now. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, and a lot of work, and there will be setbacks, but it can be done. And even if it couldn't, I don't know if I could stand to buy the world that you speak of by sacrificing this one and everyone on it. The Dust Kraken will awaken if you go through with the plan we think you have in mind.
The Dust Kraken will awaken one way or the other. Why not simply take what you can and get out with your life?
I'm not so fast to accept the Dust Kraken's awakening.
I'm not so fast to accept defeat. You speak of the hardships we've had to face, but that's what made us who we are. Every bit of us came from overcoming again and again. Couldn't give that up. Don't think any of us could.
You would be surprised what you're willing to do after 1,000 years of idealism. after being torn apart by your closest allies, after having your soul rent and trapped in artifacts for 2,000 years or more. But no matter. This place is sufficient. In this place, you can continue to struggle without interfering.
I'm not sure I understand.
You mean to leave us here? How long has Nibenay been trapped here?
The trap implies some manner of coercion, of trickery. This is a place of contemplation. A place where you have all the time necessary to do the works you're so eager to embark upon. For my part, I long for a world where I am allowed to exist. Farewell.
Antoria slowly tries standing up.
Cassia as well. She's gonna try and pace.
You can stand up.
Can we pace? Can we get away from the table? Like move away, walk away?
So as you try to move away from the table, you find yourself like walking towards the table.
Oh, it's one of those off the screen back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get started. He turns to Cassia and starts casting detect magic to see what's going on
Those
here.
are
You-
big
Cassia
words
as well.
for someone who's supposedly betrayed these sorcerer kings to gain power for himself. As
This
we
may
know
have
it.
been his plan for a very long time.
You reach out to call upon power from the life force of Athos, and you don't find any.
Can you call upon? Can you?
I will do my best to figure anything out.
Perhaps I should attempt to see if the spirits can hear my calls as well. And Zorr's going to attempt to commune with the spirits of water.
You do not sense a connection.
Yeah.
So
Nothing.
Cassia was able to like walk around in the room and sit down. She came in differently. She's gonna when she gets up and tries to move around. Does she also find herself going back at the
You
table?
do, yes.
Okay.
Well,
Do we see them also like go into the darkness and then suddenly appear behind us?
It's not so like visible as that necessarily. It's like it's not more like you blink and they're just returning.
Kate will say, well, the source of my power should be accessible.
Here's hoping.
Give it a try, I suppose.
He's going to put a hand on your shoulder and use cleansing touch, remove a magical effect from a willing target.
It does not succeed.
Antoria will go over to look at Nibenay if that's permitted by the enchantment.
Yeah,
Alright, and Antoria will do a medicine check.
sure.
Zorr will just, if he sees you trying to do that, he'll just be like,
Push you out of the way and then immediately do a medicine check.
Well,
Oh,
Antoria actually did okay with it. He got a 19.
He seems, above and beyond being like, completely and utterly still. He seems fine.
An Arcana check to see if any information about whatever's got a hold of him can be determined without using magic of my own.
Sure.
Alright. 21.
You're having a difficult time like sensing magical energies necessarily, but there is something like familiar about this fellow. There's something that reminds you of like something that just some sort of like tickle in the back of your head of like something similar, but you can't remember who or necessarily what it was.
I almost feel like I can place this. It's not coming to me.
Cassia's gonna try and figure out as much as she can, and she's gonna give herself the inspiration. Ugh. It's an Arcana?
Yeah.
24.
you feel like really embarrassed just for a moment, in that like in the excitement, you feel like it should be really easy to remember who this guy's name is, but you can't.
So we don't know that this is Nibenay anymore.
Or
You don't know that this is Nibenay anymore.
Okay.
I mean, no, you know that it's the king of the city-state that you're in.
We just can't remember his name.
Yeah.
If Zorr,
Excuse me. You can't remember his name.
If Zorr attempts to cast thaumaturgy just to make a sound appear, like a loud sound or something,
Yep.
am I able to cast my spells still? At
Does
all?
not, no.
Does anyone know this person's name?
Does Antoria know his name?
Give me an Arcana check.
I'll also have a look.
And this is a question to everyone. So hopefully
27.
You can alternatively give me a...
history.
Religion?
Yeah, I will say maybe religion or Arcana is applicable here.
27?
22.
What? 14.
You don't remember. You not only don't remember, but actually you can't remember Cassia's name either.
Who are you?
No, I mean, you know who she is,
Yeah.
but her
Her
name
name
suddenly is
escaped-
just like...
Our names are being lost. I think we're being pulled out of memory in
Toria-
some way. This is bad.
Toria starts rifling through his pack really quickly.
Cassie is going to look to her extra-dimensional storage, see if she can figure out anything about, like, that goes to another world or another area. Is there any magic in there that she can pull out? She kind of got practice with this concept when she was fighting the Tarrasque, pulling magic from other areas. So she's hoping to apply some of that to anything in the pack that, like, could possibly be pulled out.
Sure. I think that opening the pack, you...
Is it just a normal bag now?
It is just a normal bag, yeah.
Are you going through your bag in front of everyone?
Extra dimensional storage. Yeah, this no longer is linking to anything. It's probably... We're not here. We're not here. We're not here. What does that mean?
Toria takes out a bag of anti-magic water.
Interesting.
It's like, this water breaks spells, but I'd have to know where to use it.
Zorr's just gonna break out his gift card. Just break the table in front of him if he can.
The table, like you give it a attack.
Right.
And you're not weak.
Right.
But you don't expect that the entire table would shatter, and yet it does. It sort of splits into these, like,
Shards.
3D shards that sort of whirl like they've been rendered in Bryce 3D
Super
or
strong.
something. Then they reform.
This place isn't real, and we're not here. I think this is a mind alteration. I don't think we're here. I think we're seeing something that's not real, and I think we're under a cognitive hazard. In a moment. She's gonna try and, like,
braces are going cold.
but I do wonder if the...
That kid was just gonna like stab his ears out again.
Fuck.
That's just his move now.
His go-to.
I unlocked that
emote. There's a couple of things I'm wondering. I'm wondering if our lack of magic isn't so much real as we just don't see its effects. Cassia's going to try sending 2 more times. Once to the girl who let us down here, to say, we've been pulled into a trap by Dragoff.
Good.
We need assistance. If you can get to us, believe we are under mind-altering enchantment.
Sure.
She's also going to send the same message to Casimir. Hopefully he'll be able to get it. And so she's going to sort of ignore as much as she remembers how to cast, and she knows how that's supposed to work. And she's going to try and do these things as though the effects are working the way she's always felt them. Like, just get the spell out as best as she can.
Sure. You attempt to, and you go through all the motions, but your battery is empty.
Okay.
Zorr's gonna strike each chair, and then he's eventually gonna make his way to Nibenay.
And strike Nibenay.
Not
He's
yet.
going to shatter.
Actually, first he's gonna... So I don't know his name, but I still assume he's a sorcerer.
No,
You know everything about him. We just forgot the names.
No, you know he's Nibenay.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
And he's just stone cold, like
Not moving.
Yeah, he's like he's kind of comatose.
I'm gonna kind of attempt to just maybe draw blood from his hand.
Okay.
Like to see if I can do anything like that.
His skin is as tough as dragon skin.
Hmm.
You can give me an attack roll, but
Do it.
Yeah.
Cassia sees what you're doing, and
If I try and do that at first and it doesn't work, then I'm probably going to try and strike just to see if I can get a reaction out of it. Does a 20 hit?
I mean,
This is still moving.
He's-
I know.
he's a
but
perfectly still thing, so you
maybe
hit.
there's armor or a shield or something.
He's fine. You don't draw blood.
Okay.
Roy will take out Call and try to light him again.
He lights, but in the same fashion as before. This room isn't as dark as the hallways that you were in. You know, you're still sort of lit by starlight. But
Alright. Zorr's going to try
Something still works.
the next step, which
Turns
is
it
to
back off.
Nibenay. Are you Nibenay? Are you there? Can you hear me?
there's no response.
And when I asked if anyone knew his name, you didn't tell us this is Nibenay.
Antoria tried to remember, but then said he couldn't remember your name.
So yeah, no one else has asked me again, and I've probably been freaking out a little bit.
Why can't I remember your name?
Just barrel rolling in the
Cassia.
pot.
Yeah, it's
I remember
Cassia.
my name, right?
No.
Shit.
Oh. What do you mean you don't remember your own name either?
I think the things we're most inclined to know escape us. Cassia is going to try closing her eyes, standing, and just like forcefully walking in a direction with her hands outstretched, trying to like shut out sensation and just do a specific isolated act without expectation of results.
Like what?
Walking away. And she's like trying to like shut everything out and just...
Sure. You bump into the recently reformed banquet table.
Okay.
How much of this water do I actually have?
Like a wineskin's worth.
Wineskin's worth.
I wish we could wish our way out of this.
Those probably wouldn't work in here either.
It's...
Are you like? Is that the skin? Like, do we recognize that as the one with the anti?
Well, Antoria mentioned that it had anti-magic water in it. He just doesn't know what to do with it.
Dousing,
Well,
dousing
It has
yourself-
like magic and then the no symbol
Yeah.
written on the
Da-
bag.
dousing
Yes.
yourself or the Sorcerer King might be viable ways if this is an enchantment on us. The Sorcerer King, if he is freed, may appreciate that and be able to help us.
But we may want to save that as a last resort as well. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm
how
starting to
we-
forget who you all are. I think this is looking pretty
This is
bad.
last resort.
Do
time.
I remember Cassia? Her name?
Give me a
Because I just heard him say what
Knowledge
was her name?
history.
Yeah, I think you remember Cassia's name.
Okay. Well, I remember that you are Cassia.
Thank you. Can I remember that I'm Cassia after hearing that?
You
Or does it
can.
just, I can?
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't slip away.
Okay.
You're
I'm Cassia.
Antoria. You're Cade. And I'm
Okay, this is actually news to you.
And I'm Zorak the Klutz.
That's an unfortunate appellation.
Actually, I'd like to trace just to say Zorak, but I imagine it still comes out as the Klutz.
Absolutely.
We'll never
That
forget
one's
the
forever.
club.
No.
Well,
No, that's like written in the shell
reality.
shell of the turtle that bears the world upon its back.
Well,
If you
But now that you think about it, Zorr, you're not sure why you're called that.
why am I that?
We're losing our memories. Oh, fuck.
well, I have to try something.
yes, does Katie remember Antoria's name?
Yes.
Say, Antoria, we must try something. I have access to nothing.
Toria walks over to the Sorcerer King, and looks at the pouch of water, and looks at the Sorcerer King. Does he think he has a preference on whether it would be better to try and ingest for this to be ingested, or just dump it on him?
Like if you're trying to dispel an effect on Nibenay himself, I'm not sure there's a particular priority. Unless the
Close him down.
cause of affliction is itself ingested, that might...
Well, there is
Give it
food on the
preference.
table.
Only one of us ate it, though.
It's not good. Don't.
There,
try
so
it.
there is food
Oh,
on the
it does
table,
look good,
but it's
though.
kind of like the 2001 Space Odyssey food, where it's like just sort of like there as decoration.
Okay. It doesn't look like Nibenay ever ate any of it, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He's got a
You're
good
still
like
forgetting
100
things,
years
though.
worth of drool
Yeah.
going on.
I also have lost my connection with the spirits. I've tried to reach out to them.
Well, something's barring all. I can't even reach Antoria for powers.
Antoria will dump the...
Real quick. You start to say that, but you're kind of confused. You're not sure why it is that you would need to reach out to the spirits.
But I'm not sure why that's a problem.
Likewise, Cade, you remember there's some sort of a thing with Antoria. It's definitely with Antoria specifically, but you're not positive what it is.
Well, Antoria's here, but I don't know what that...
Antoria will pour the water skin of anti-magic water on Nibenay.
Okay.
The whole thing.
He is wet.
He dissolves.
He does not, no.
Turns out that's all you need to kill the Sorcerer King.
You got one Sorcerer King, and that was it.
He looks frustrated when nothing seems to happen and just tosses the wineskin over his shoulder.
No, let's...
It lands on the table.
What do I remember Zorak's connection to the spirits, that he's a water
Whose?
spirit? This
The
Zorak the Klutz.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, you do.
Be like, Zorak the Klutz, you need the connection to the spirits because you're a cleric of water. Everything that we know, everything you can remember. Why Antoria? What is...
Antoria is your lord. So,
Antoria probably doesn't even probably remember enough to be pissed off about that.
I didn't finish the sentence.
No,
I wouldn't savior.
Yeah.
and Antoria is your lord, the prince of Uric, son of Hamanu. You gain power from him as a paladin,
So
as a
Antoria...
Templar.
Do I remember Cassia's name?
Yes.
Cassia, Zorak the Klutz. Do I still remember my name from Zorak saying it earlier?
No.
Cade.
Hold on.
You're Cade.
Antoria gets out his spellbook stuff and starts writing this down to see what happens. He's writing out every fact that people mention and agree with.
So, you start to, but the letters sort of unravel 3 or 4 letters behind where you're writing.
Where are we and why? What? Review everything. How much do I remember about entering this place, like going through the city of Nibenay and all that?
Not a ton.
Like we came to.
So, give me a perception check, Kate.
Is my shield still active?
Yeah. Wait, which shield?
Eyeball shield.
Yeah, that one's still active.
17.
Okay. Thinking about what you've done, you're drawing a blank. But you remember seeing Antoria talking to Lord Diger, and Cassia talking in the halls of the Naggaramakam, and Zorr fighting with someone at the camp of the Urukari army.
Kate will be like, I don't remember coming here. I don't remember this, but I remember all of you. It's everything about ourselves. It's like a lack of self.
What we should most know disappears. Cassie saw the writing unravel. She's going to pull out her blade and make a cut on her hand.
Okay.
Does it heal or not?
It does.
Something is undoing things here. I don't think this is real, but I don't know how to break out.
Zor's going to try and, instead of breaking, he's going to move the table and the chairs and just kind of slowly push them out.
They do not budge.
Oh. What about Nibenay's chair? Does that also, like, if he tries
He's
to
in it.
move him?
He's very heavy.
Perhaps if we move Nibenay, if
Cassie's
possible.
going to take her cloak of useful items and sort of hold it out. Smash the table again.
No problem with that.
As it goes to shard, she's going to put her cloak in the way so that it would reform around it.
Okay.
Does that do anything? Does it stop it from reforming? Does that adjust the spell at all?
The table reforms and the cloak is like trapped in
It's trapped. It's
Yeah.
like it's stuck.
It's part of the table now.
It's part of the table. That's interesting.
Do you want me to break it again so you can get your cloak back?
I want to remember that this didn't work.
Fair. There must be something we can do.
Zor's going to start trying every direction of walking. She's gonna start doing a fan. I'm
Cassie's-
gonna assume he comes back every time, but
Yep.
he's gonna start noting what directions he comes back from, if that matters.
You immediately begin to lose track of which way you've gone.
Cassia's
Each
going to
wall
tr-
looks like another.
Cassie is going to try marking lines with chalk to sort of map out what can be a direction. Does the chalk fade?
Yes.
She's going to try leaving copper coins. Do
Okay.
the copper coins disappear?
So they don't necessarily like vanish before your eyes, but as you keep reaching, they're all just still in your pouch.
How far is it from the table to the door that Cassia came in from?
There's not a visible door.
Oh. The point where she came in from.
20 feet.
Alright, I've got an idea, maybe.
Link
I'll-
hands?
Yes, I'll hold
Let's-
onto the table. You
We link
next.
hands
Alright.
and
And try to
try
reach.
and extend in that direction.
Okay.
Is anyone able to reach the wall where she came in?
Who is at the apex of it?
I'll try and be outmost, I guess.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
You're sitting back at the table.
Uh-huh.
And so is everyone else.
Zorr's gonna just sit and
Zorr
meditate.
breaks your chairs.
No, actually, Zorr's gonna finally try a different tact. He's gonna sit, close his eyes, and just meditate, and just clear his mind.
Don't worry, that's what Nibenay did.
Mm.
Or that old guy, whatever he is.
Sure.
I don't suppose the contingency spell...
Actually, no, you're able to remember Nibenay's name.
Okay.
I don't suppose the contingency spell took effect.
It did not.
Okay.
Maybe Zorr's
Yeah,
gonna
but
try
I-
with psionics every once in a while and just reach out. Hello? Is anyone there? Can you hear me?
Kate, what are you doing?
Kate is just mostly like he's just sitting and like trying to puzzle it all out and trying to remember as much as he can. But right now, I mean, this like doesn't have.
So what specifically are you trying to remember?
Mostly he's trying to remember like going into the tower and going down the stairwell, basically trying to remember where they were right before everyone disappeared and all that.
What are you just thinking about the group as a group?
Yeah, I mean, since he's sort of figured out that he can't remember stuff about himself and he was flanking Antoria, he's just going to be trying to remember seeing where Antoria was going and seeing at least the little bit that he could see from Call's flame when they were walking. His like just following in his head, following Cassia's belief that maybe they're not really here. He's just trying to like think about whatever he can think about to try to snap himself back into his own head.
Sure.
He's been like psionically pulled out.
That's fair.
So he's just basically trying to remember what the sight picture was right before he lost contact with Antoria.
Gotcha. Do you feel like it really quickly feels like you're sort of going in circles?
Does Antoria remember who Aronis is?
Yeah.
He asks if he remembers who Cassia's name.
Mm-hmm.
Cassia, try reaching Aronis.
You realize Antoria is talking to you.
Hello.
Yes. You can contact him mentally, yes? Try reaching Aronis.
I will try reaching Aronis if I can remember who he is.
You can remember, but there's no connection.
It's just,
Just a dial tone.
there's...
Zorr's now like.
Going to the void.
He wouldn't be human if he didn't think of it. Is there any other source of power Antoria could draw upon?
Oh, good question. What do you have in mind?
Well, he's got an artifact sword that does seem to function.
It does seem to function, yes.
Alright. He will try... He's holding the blade and he's thinking at it and thinking out loud. This is looking rather desperate. If you have some power available I can use for my magic, this would be a great time to tell me about it. You certainly seem to have plenty to spare.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, Zorr and Cade both give me wisdom saves.
23 on the Arcana check.
So not only is there no response, but you're not positive why you're talking to a sword in the first place. It's kind of loony. In fact, where did you get this sword? It looks so fancy. I mean, gold is probably kind of weak, right? Why would someone make a sword out of gold?
What is this thing?
What'd you guys get?
24.
Both of you lose 3 spell slots.
What kind of slots?
What do you mean?
What level of slots?
Your discretion.
Okay, well,
Just start checking off spells
Yep.
and so you cast them.
yeah. Goodbye, first level spell.
Yes.
And I mean, so both of you feel like fatigued as a consequence of this. Not exhausted,
Right.
but you can sense that like something has
It's
been sort of
draining us.
drawn away from you. Yes.
Well,
Here's another thought.
Zorr breaks out of this trance. Meditation didn't work. I feel more drained than I did before.
No, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Is there any other power source Antoria senses nearby?
There could be an idea of communal belief that we all think we're in the same place and somehow that's powering it. Maybe if we all focus hard on something else as real and we have faith, the way that you draw faith from Antoria for power, maybe we can drive something with that as a
I have faith that
different
something
element.
is messing with us, and I would like to find it.
We all believe that this room isn't real. We all know that this room isn't real.
Zorr, give me another save.
Antoria looks at
Where-
the sword in his hand as you're talking. He's got a funny look on his face.
Where
better.
should we be? We were walking downstairs and we couldn't see.
29 this
We
time.
You
should
lose
be-
4 more spell levels.
Did any of you leave the stairs? Are we still on the stairs?
Prince Antoria was in front of me with a call of flame. That's the last thing I remember.
Then we are on the stairs and something has made us see something that's not real and none of this is real. Can we all focus on the stairs and going back up them together?
Can try.
Alright.
Cassia's like reaching for her like obscure whatever. So I don't know. You're not
Sure.
even asking us to roll, so
Are each of you trying to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Each of you forms this picture of the stairs in your head. And you remember the blackness of it. And you feel the loneliness of it because you were there on those stairs by yourself.
Does that memory seem correct to us now? Or does it seem like, wait a minute,
we're
that's
on the
not-
stairs. Each of us are alone on the stairs, is what you're saying?
You're on the stairs, yeah.
Cassia's going to start going back up the stairs.
No,
Oh.
you're not there. You're just remembering.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
you're-
we're focusing on that and trying to make... and
Right.
so-
And in doing so, you remember yourself, each of you, alone on the stairs. Like when you first try to, like listening to Cassia, you imagine like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then you try to do that, and you just, immediate picture is like, I was alone on those stairs in the dark.
Antoria shakes his head, grips Call in one hand, and seems to steel himself for a moment, and then swings it full force into his own lower leg.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I need an attack roll for attacking oneself?
Yeah, you might fail.
Okay.
Weapon is flung.
He gets a 19, which I assume since he was not trying to dodge out of the way, even though it's...
I think you're fine.
Okay. He will actually... Well, he probably doesn't remember that it flares up, so I guess we'll just do the damage. It should be 10 points of damage.
Okay. It hurts.
Does anything else change?
Yeah, Cade is concerned.
Prince,
Let's...
be careful.
When I focus on the stairs, I see myself there alone.
Just
What
me.
did you see when you focused on the stairs?
I saw me
Just
there alone.
darkness.
Do you remember the last time we were together on the stairs as we began our descent, just before it got
Your leg
dark?
reheals.
Antoria looks at his leg and
Yes,
consternation.
we were going down the stairs because some little girl was
But I don't-
leading us down some human child thing.
We should still be on the stairs. We should not have been separated. I think that's when the effect began. We are all on the stairs together, and we need to realize that. Focus on all of us being on the stairs together. Cade, you were in front of me, and Tori in front of him, and Zorak the Klutz, you were right behind me, and we are all still there together on the stairs.
So I reached out to touch Antoria's shoulder.
We are all still there. Can we focus on that?
Rather than trying to remember it, let's try to picture that instead.
Yes, picture it. That's where we are. That's where we need to know and believe and understand that is what's real.
So when we think back on, when Cade thinks back on, you said that I don't seem to be remembering things about myself, but I can remember what I saw, right? Like, so I remember like Antoria, where he was, since he was in front of me.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily remember my own experience of being there.
Yes.
Cade will be like, hold on, Antoria.
Yes.
Be like, you're astride ahead. Your right foot is still on the same stair as my left. Your left foot is forward. You're holding a heavy golden sword in your dominant hand. It glows with a radiant flame, and he's just going to start.
Sure.
Like he's basically going to give all the stimuli that he can at least assume that Antoria was feeling, and tell it to him, and try to sort of like get.
Cassie's going to do that for Cade.
Okay.
Every bit of everything she can remember from that.
And Antoria's going to do it for Cassia.
And so,
Although Antoria, unfortunately, being in front, all he would really remember were the footsteps behind him, but he tries his best to describe them.
And then Cassie is also going to try and do that for Zorak.
And Zorr's going to describe that egg that he left behind,
Yeah.
right behind.
Every bit of the scene that we can remember of each other, building all of that out. And I'm probably completely wrong about every of this. But
Each of you begin to narrate, basically overlapping one another, speaking over each other, just striving for whatever the tiniest detail you can figure out.
I was like, I was in front of y'all.
And then you're on the stairs.
Okay.
What the?
Okay. I hate these things. I hate these things so much.
Zorr immediately strikes the wall next to him to see if there's a wall there.
There is.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can actually see just fine here in the dark now.
Okay. I think we broke it.
One moment.
That sucked.
One moment. Antoria grips the sending stone that's connected to our friend the captain and asks him what day it is and what year.
They don't have years. Years are illegal.
Or when the last time.
Yeah. It's 34th day of the 75th King's Age.
How does that match up with what Antoria would have believed?
Actually, that's about a week later than what you believed to be the invasion day of Nibenay.
We've been in here a week.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Gotta give me some bread.
Cassia is going to try sending to... did I burn spell slots with my previous sendings?
Yes.
Okay. Cassie's going to send to Casimir...
He's just right behind us.
Well, no. Did you get last
That's pretty
message about being trapped? We are fine now.
A week later. It's cool.
Well, I don't know if he was worried. He's Casimir. He loves us.
No! Crying emoji. So, wondered where you were. Crying emoji, crying emoji. Glad you're good.
Okay. Let's continue.
Laughing emoji.
Laughing emoji.
Love Casimir.
Will the army have been alright with us gone for a week?
P.S. Army? Question mark, question mark, question mark emoji, question mark.
I mean, they'll have to be. Where is the Templar? What was her name?
Can we remember everything now? Like, is that...
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
What about Nibenay as well? He was in there still.
I think he may still be trapped. I think that either Nibenay is not really there, and that was a red herring.
That may
Or
just be his mind. We may need to find his body.
That's reasonable. It's reasonable to believe he's been trapped down here so long. That's how. Maybe he got caught up in his own spell. I don't even know what we really saw Dragoth in there. Like, that may have just been a nightmare of sorts.
Yeah. Well,
Do we press on or do we hit
I
back?
think we have to press on.
we have to. We're gonna
Well,
find Nibenay.
We broke the spell once, we know how to break it again. As long as we
Indeed.
remember.
Indeed.
Perhaps I
So,
hate to...
wait, sorry, this is a really important one. Writing that we had before we went in, that didn't get messed up, right?
Writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So writing we had before in was safe. It didn't get squiggly lined?
No, nothing
No,
nothing
yeah.
that happened in there was real. So all of our magic... Well, is my hand
Well,
cut?
some of it was...
You see a scar.
How's your leg?
It's a larger scar.
Yeah.
Oh.
Antoria will.
And all your spell slots that you tried to cast have been consumed.
So
Yeah.
sorry, I need
Okay.
wanted. So writing that existed before we went in there didn't get squiggly lined, and we could read it just fine.
Yeah, nothing that you did outside of whatever that place was has been reversed.
Okay, so
My
Antoria will
bag's
write
still
down
on.
basically a short description of what happened to them and how to break it if they get in it again.
Sure.
Cassia
yeah.
does as well,
If-
because this is cognitive hazards and it's, yeah.
If we're
Just
to press
immediately
on,
log on to the wiki.
Yeah.
I
SCP
suggest we
organized.
send your familiars before us.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
How are things between Cade and Tanger these days, by the way?
Tanger kind of shies away from
Tanger knew the job.
Yeah.
He knew what he was signing up for.
You killed little buddy like 5 times at this point, so.
Yeah.
You are just awful to familiars. I'm gonna go ahead and summon little buddy.
Antoria summons Tanger, who noticeably glances.
Hugs.
Ah,
Are you Oh! Shit! Why was he on the
He
ship?
runs up because he flies it. He runs up the stairs like a madman.
It crashes like right through the center of the capital. Campaign's over. We're done, guys.
It just goes over.
right through the tower into us.
Could I have messaged him before I crashed our
No,
Okay, this
absolutely not.
completely destroyed at this point.
So to be fair, it's an advanced ship. Perhaps a few minutes of not being piloted, we're fine.
Antoria will, with
Casimir was on the ship.
with considerably less dramatic summon Tanger. Tanger definitely gives Cade an odd look.
Tanger's like, what's piloting?
It's a living.
So, was Casimir on the ship? Presumably. Hopefully he's piloting it and not dying. Because he was on the ship when we
I think
Oh my God, you killed
we'll
Cat.
find out later.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Message, did you die? Or sending.
Are you actually doing that?
I kind of have to. Sending, hope you can fly the ship or are on it safely.
A emoji, A emoji, A emoji.
Can I like send little buddy back there somehow?
How?
Linking through Casimir. He's got psionics.
It's not how that works.
I just killed Casimir. I'm so sorry, party.
It's fine.
That's not. He's my
And
favorite.
Marcus, who's in the cargo hold.
Oh
still.
shit! We did leave Marcus on there.
Marcus will be fine.
Oh
I put him under
shit!
that blanket, he's fine.
We left Marcus on the ship.
It's
Anyway.
it's in vulnerability hold.
Yeah,
Ultimate vulnerability.
that's
All right.
Anyway,
So Antoria will send Tanger ahead down the tunnel. Now, if call lit again, so since light seems to be working now,
Yeah.
okay, then with light available and Tanger scouting ahead.
Tanger discovers another banquet hall, but this one appears to be far more mundane. Granted, it's still in the lower levels of Sorcerer King's palace, but it seems fine. And there is a Sorcerer King sitting at the foot of the table here.
Does he also seem comatose, responsive?
No, he seems... So, actually, you only know that this is who it is because you catch him right at the tail of casting some sort of illusion or shape change or something like that. And for the briefest moment, you see this tall, gnarled... It's not a dray. It's not so crudely crocodilian. And it's not the dragon, certainly not. But it's something like that. It's something
in between.
in between. It's some sort of a whelp of a dragon. It's some 9 or 10 foot tall thing, completely gnarled, completely blackened with the ash of defiling magic. Horrifically old. But sure enough, he basically just drapes himself in the appearance of the Sorcerer King Nibenay.
And Antoria is, of course, aware of the gradual dragon transformation Sorcerer Kings are undergoing, so
Indeed.
he's definitely shocked by the appearance of it, but he understands what's going on, probably. It's like,
Sure. And before too long, you all arrive. Nibenay is hydrating, as he's been asleep for 100 years, so...
Antoria will bow and say, Lord Nibenay,
Cade follows suit.
I'm Prince Antoria of Uruk.
I know who you are. I know. I have only the utmost gratitude for what you have done.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Bows.
Well, luckily that gratitude isn't misplaced.
I'm pleased to know that it was able to help us all.
I'm glad we were all afraid of it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Then perhaps
There's
you
something
also
very
know the
pressing
situation
about-
as well, Lord Nibenay?
I know that bastard Dragoth, for all of his honeyed words, kept me a prisoner for 100 years. And when I get my hands on him, I'm going to pry his fingernails off and feed them to him.
That's the attitude.
And then regenerate them and do it again
Deserve.
for hundreds and hundreds more years.
I mean, our goal was to convince him to help us, and I think we've done it.
Working out great.
Excellent news. All of the other Sorcerer Kings are in complete agreement, minus a few of the details of exactly how they want to torture him. But the general sentiment is shared completely.
Spectacular. We march at once.
Of course.
Tell me, is that conniving son of mine somewhere here as well?
He aided us in reaching you.
He only wished to take back the city. Perhaps for himself, perhaps not.
Hmm.
But the city had fallen under other control of one of the merchant lords.
Well, let's head topside and see how the lay of the land strikes us, shall we?
Indeed.
He immediately rises and begins a regal procession back up the stairs, which thankfully don't descend
we just walk
into
back to
some-
the back table.
God damn it! All right, you're cast.
This isn't real. Just remember the stairs.
And sure enough, there is a tremendous commotion as the throne moves aside once again. Once you've
A week
reached,
later.
and sure enough, there is some sort of a court being held in session. And once again, mid-vertigo, with a sort of misshapen crown sitting upon his head, Dehojakt sits at the top of the slid-aside stairs.
This is gonna be awkward.
And of course, immediately, what nobles and captains are here bow and immediately grovel before the Shadow King, Nibenay, who is once again returned from a 100-year hiatus. Oh, hi, Dad. I kept your seat warm for you. That's disgusting. Well, my son has made it clear where he'd like to sit. I can't deny he must have aided in some capacity for my recent liberation. Unless you have some other viewpoint to share.
I do have one question for your son, if you would permit me. Prince Dojat, you were down there for a week. Would you
Bite
permit me,
meter full.
would you permit me to ask when you plan to investigate and see what had become of us?
Look, you're capable individuals. That's why we entered into this partnership in the first place. I would have figured if you needed something, I'd get a little message of some kind. I don't think that's unreasonable for me to expect, do you?
Except for the fact that part of the theory was that a powerful sorcerer king was perhaps trapped down there as well.
Well, that's a good point.
I thought so.
Listen, I apologize.
I accept your apology.
How about you, Cade?
Prince Antoria's will is my own.
Zorr the Klutz.
He speaks for the group, as far as I'm concerned.
Cassia the Magnificent.
Now
Well, yeah, you said it like that.
I mean, when you put it that way,
charisma
He
check.
immediately doffs his crown and splits it in half and scurries up to his father, who towers even over above him. Daddy, 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 it's so good to see you. I, for my part, forgive you for locking me up in a tower for decades upon decades. Nibenay is utterly disgusted at having to speak to Dojak, much less look at him.
Same.
And just sort of does another one of these as the throne slides back into place. And Nibenay ascends.
With Doshak underneath
Yeah.
the throne.
Siemhook takes her place by the side of the throne and gestures for the nobility to rise.
So I'm curious about her and what happened with her while we were stuck down there.
No, we don't know yet.
Are you going to ask her?
Cassie's sort of looking quizzically and waiting for a chance where, like, decorum would allow us to ask a question
Sure.
like that.
I think that she is making clear that the true ruler of the city of Nibenay has returned. To those brave souls that freed him from his unholy captivity, we give thanks.
She believes
She,
in us.
well, she was in front of us, right?
She
let us down
She
there.
seemed to be, yes.
Why were you not down there with us?
Forgive me.
I'm more curious why. When we fell into the trap, where did you go?
I have lived here in the Naggaramakam all my life. Even a snare placed by the dread king. I know every hall, I know every corner, I know each step. I have had 100 years to discover how my father was trapped.
You put us in there knowing we'd get him out. Or hoping. I understand.
It was what we came here to do anyway.
Indeed.
Nibenay speaks. You are, you speak for Yurik, as it were.
I do, my lord.
Marshal your forces. I shall confer with our associates in the other city-states. We shall meet on the plains of the Ivory Triangle and march on Gusenal. Dragoth has died once before. Let's do it right this time.
Agreed. I will prepare the army. And Antoria,
Nibenay dismisses us.
and Antoria marches out.
Okay, to follow.
There is, of course, a column of smoke coming from out of the...
Off the horizon?
Oh.
not off the horizon, but definitely off a quarter of the city.
So I didn't... was it the spaceship crashing?
It was,
okay.
yes.
So I didn't want to break the narrative flow. Cassia would have...
I think it's way better that you were just super wait,
Stressed
there's little
out.
buddy.
Uh,
Everyone give me a perception check.
18.
17, 20, and 22.
23.
Up above, wafting in the breeze, you see what looks like a balloon. Some manner of stretched tarp.
Casimir! Hello!
Hello!
And he just has
Oh,
Marcus
thank
in his
God.
arms.
Oh, thank God.
Marcus is not in his arms.
How high
Marcus
up
has
is
hit
he?
points.
I know.
It's like 200 feet at this point.
Oh. Okay, so he's gonna land pretty soon. And it looks
I mean, it's already deployed, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna land safely. I mean, Antoria doesn't necessarily know what a
He
parachute
does one of
is.
those Sir Lancelot things where you keep looking up and he's the same height. I'm coming!
Well, thank goodness he's safe.
Yeah, I was very worried about that.
The parachute falls over each of you.
Wonderful.
Hello!
Cassia hugs Casimir and apologizes.
Zorak freaks out. A bug inside of a trap like this? Oh my god.
I imagine that whenever Call lights up, you're just immediately oh. Ah.
We're World's biggest bug zapper.
Well,
we have our destination. I need to prepare
the graveyard.
What?
Marcus was on that ship.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
The ship. Wait, do we realize the ship crashed, or is Cassie? I don't know if you ever said what happened.
Come on!
It was on that ship. What are you talking about?
I mean, chances are good that Marcus is okay.
The sun's arrow?
Wrapped him in a blanket.
Antoria will head over to the ship with her.
What happened to the sun's arrow?
It hit its mark.
Oh. Well, that's good, though.
The ship
Arrows
has
hit their marks.
crashed, and there is an enormous blaze just in the middle of what used to be just a bunch of market stalls.
Oh, it used to be Sham's house or something.
Cable,
If only, no.
Cable throws cloak of protection over his face and rush in.
There's a mess of gnarled circuitry and sparks flaring. It's like
Pieces of half giant.
Zorr will start putting out fires, I guess, with
Marcus!
great water.
You're still asleep.
So search as you might, you can't find him.
He wasn't buckled up.
But I don't.
He
like
was
when
not
my
buckled
hatchet
up.
organs come out. Like
You know, you don't find like a Marcus-shaped stain on the ground or anything like that.
Cable sort of he'll brush some smoke away and kind of back
Well-
out and be like, well,
If Casimir used one of... What was that? Flying contraption.
I call it a...
It's like the broom, right?
It's
Yeah.
it's a featherfall device, like some kind of
Yeah,
magical-
it's like a...
Falling device.
It's
Yeah.
a falling blanket.
A falling blanket.
It's a blanket of safe falling.
A
A
blanket...
blanket!
Let me
A safety blanket.
It's your safety blanket. Yes.
Yes.
Let me
It's my
clarify this
safety
point
blanket.
because I want to make sure to get this down properly for history. Are you saying that we actually lost a half giant?
Yeah.
And a spaceship.
and
The spaceship is right here.
Oh, excuse me. I
it's
thought
a
you
wreck,
meant...
but
Yeah,
it's
no,
right here.
Once everyone's away from it, Cassie's going to come and cold it to try and put out the fire.
What?
No.
There is, of course, a stall of
having
pigs on the other
flashbacks.
side.
they marked that
No! Took me a whole week to buy all the pigs.
No, he's like, my coin! My wish!
I have to. No,
Zorr was using crate water to start putting out stuff. Like,
The pigs drown.
yes.
Cable would be like, well, it's
But,
Marcus. Surely.
but also of note, Zorr's gonna walk up to our friend the Sun's Arrow and he's gonna try and cast healing spells on it.
On the ship?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As far as I know,
It's a metal. It's
It's
metal,
a
but it's a
creature.
bird.
Don't you have a spell that's literally designed to restore
Oh yeah.
material damage?
Yes,
Yeah.
It
I do.
repairs
But he
like
doesn't
one.
use it.
so mending only fixes up to 1 foot of damage.
Oh.
Burn higher spell slots.
No, it's a
So just give me a year, mending.
Well, 'cause we've got bank. Plus, we've got a sorcerer king here. Do the Templars know mending? Can you just like get a horde?
But you're right. I do know a spell to regenerate things. I'm gonna cast regenerate on the ship.
It doesn't do anything.
Oh.
Goodbye, 7th level spells.
Well,
But I think maybe you catch the edge of a pig and it's like...
Oh, not the pigs.
Big save.
well,
No, you're absolutely correct. There's no trace of Marcus.
Why did it crash in the first place?
Interesting. Did it run out of food? Grew tired and fell from the sky?
It's apparently a better story.
We haven't
That's why.
fed it. I haven't seen it sleep.
Well, regardless,
Perhaps we drove it to its death.
in truth, we have an army we have to march with now. Its usage to us was limited at best.
no one uses the fat chocobo anyway.
Speaking of
That
which,
game does have too many airships.
Far too many.
Yeah.
let's get this army ready to move.
Indeed.
What army?
The York
Yeah,
Army.
actually, what happened to the Urkari army?
They went home.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's been a week.
They just went home.
You disappeared
didn't
into
have
a
a commander.
fortress and didn't tell us to do anything.
We
The
told them
vaunted
more
discipline of
victories.
the Urukari army.
You
Hey,
gave this big speech about, like, believe in me, and then
Disappeared.
disappeared.
Man, that was
Morale may be at an all-time
I
low.
may have had difficulty drawing on your powers while you were.
Oh,
Right after you told them to draw on your powers.
I still have the utmost faith in you, Prince Antoria.
Perhaps you should send a message to our the Lord Captain once again and see how things are and remind him that we're back.
Yo, what's up? We fought Dragoth. We're okay.
Yes.
We're back.
Yeah, you may want to
Turns
tell them
out
that. That may give them a little bit of a morale boost. We had a minor victory over Dragoth.
Gygus walks up.
Oh.
Gygus.
Greetings.
Wasn't sure where you'd made off to.
We've been busy.
Listen, where's Marcus?
I was about to ask you that very same question.
He's probably napping somewhere.
That
Boy loves to sleep.
just loves sleeping.
Yeah.
Probably isn't dead.
Indeed. We were
Did you take
That's a
a
weird thing to say.
take a cut in the leg there?
indeed. We were caught in the same trap that had Lord Nibenay himself prisoner for over a century. We freed him from it.
I don't know anything about that, but it's good to see you're getting your hands dirty. I always figured you for a book learner. And books, as we know, are illegal.
By order of the king. Kids.
You could rescind that order.
Might want to take things a
We
bit
have
slow at this
priorities and morale to get restored. I suppose.
Well, being legal wouldn't do me any good. I, of course, don't know how. Reading's for
point.
sissies.
Of course.
Well, we're about to partake of a great battle if you wish to partake of one.
You don't mean like you're gonna, pull an all-nighter reading, right?
We're gonna fight a
it will-
sorcerer king.
It will be a battle. I'm sure there will be something for you and any of our other allies who are willing to come to
We're
do.
going to fight perhaps the greatest threat that Athos has ever known.
Now you're talking my language.
I don't suppose our other allies are still around, the elf tribe and...
Oh, without a doubt.
Excellent.
Actually, there's someone new here looking around for y'all. That's why I'm here. Some fellow with a big old boat.
Ah!
I was hoping it was Bo's head.
No, that's gone.
No, Zorr did a good job
I
of
disintegrated
just snuffing that little plot
My
thread out.
dead abomination.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
Yeah, he was definitely
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Ah, good.
Wyvern Slayer donated $5. Party member is missing. World is ending. City is burning. The team is more concerned about their wrecked ship.
I mean, it's a good ship.
It is
It
fluid.
was.
It
Wow.
used to be pretty
It
good.
was a good ship.
But then I realized that Antoria would try to put
Everything into space.
everything in space, and I realized that something had to be done.
Yep.
So much to jettison, so little time.
Indeed. Well, we have a army, if it's not the one we thought we had.
Indeed.
We should still send for.
I will send them a message, yes, but we should prepare this army for march, I suppose. Do you
Chad is wondering when the Trask will fall out of the sky.
Oh, Lord.
It's just like
Hopefully
it's
in
orbiting
several
right now.
hundred years.
It's a satellite and it's slowly gonna close in and then land.
Is that what satellites do?
Sure.
They just close in?
Debris that's in an orbit.
Pretty sure that's exactly the opposite of the point.
If
Are
a
you
satellite-
saying that the moon is eventually going to crash into the planet?
If a satellite is no longer self-correcting or not already in a stable orbit, I imagine the Trask is a stable orbit.
See, this is why no one likes book readers.
Except that guy who knows a lot about dirt. He's cool.
What?
The guy who knows a lot
Oh
about
yeah,
dirt.
no, we love dirt scientists here on
Yes,
wearefoxhound.com.
That's our
The
primary
dirt all over.
viewing
That's-
audience.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I guess get our army in order and prepare to march.
Yes, sir.
I will contact the army that wandered off. The great Urakari army that wandered off.
I do believe we do have some culpability in this one case, my prince.
You know, honestly, I shouldn't be complaining. It's kind of a relief.
They did what they should do. They went back to protect Yurik.
We'll see about that.
They simply got too far from their home point and they kited back.
It happens.
What?
Sorry, a little
No worries.
command and conquer terminology.
Antoria will contact Joss and we were caught in,
You can hear him snap to attention. Sir!
We were briefly caught in the trap that had held Lord Nibenay for a century, but we have freed him.
Excellent, sir. Congratulations,
Took
sir.
me a week to figure it out. He had 100 years, just saying.
I assume that the army is headed back to Yurik.
Sir, yes, sir. Here, sir.
Casting sending again, so I can ask another question. Are things relatively in order still?
Sir, it's Yurik, sir.
Just checking. I wasn't expecting to be delayed down below for a week after all.
Sir.
I'm glad to hear it.
Sir.
He's getting the most out of those messages.
Yeah. One more.
Sir,
Orders, sir.
Return to Yurik and One moment.
We're here, sir.
Hey,
Oh, they have to go to Uruk in a week?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
they march fast.
excellent. Okay, what's the word for getting the army to stand down? Not be an army anymore.
Disband?
Whoa!
No, not that. Not an army anymore. What do you do when you bring the army back? There's a word for it, isn't there? At rest.
Cade would know this. I don't know what
At
you're trying to
ease.
get at.
I'm not sure what we're trying to
Yeah,
close in
sure,
on
where
here.
you're going.
I don't know that this is a thing. They're still an
Reform,
army.
rejoin, What are you talking about?
Would that be marshalling?
I mean,
Well,
you
you marshal forces to send them out. When they come back, don't you do something else to undo that?
I mean, you should put the out forces on a short R&R and then cycle them back into the city guard.
There you go. And Antoria repeats that literally word for word, like someone who's terrified to get one of the words wrong.
It's like, will we be
Just.
collecting more out forces from Uruk?
How many forces do we have right now without the Urukori army? Or what we had of them?
I mean, the Urukari army was like 3 or 4 times larger than Dohojak's mercenary forces.
I see. We will.
Also, the Urukari.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright. Then I think I understand this right. So what Kate's saying is basically get the forces that were resting at Uruk and not on active march and have them march out to meet us.
Sir,
Good. Thank you.
you don't need to thank me each time, sir.
Old habit, I'm afraid.
Sir.
Good luck.
You never dismiss him, so he's still just
I
sitting
know.
there, saluting, waiting for the next message. And we don't know that you didn't dismiss him, so we don't know to correct that.
So he
It's
just
like 3
dies
weeks
standing
later.
there.
Well, it's not like I crashed a ship with my mismessaging. Oh.
Okay, hold on. I want to say,
Yeah.
I was not given time because we went down to see this. Like, Cassia wanted to work on a thing.
Yeah.
People made jokes and we walked away from it and the ship crashed. So I'm okay with that as a narrative thing, but I'm not okay taking shit for it.
Fair enough.
Is it
Because
mustering?
it was.
Mustering forces?
No, that's when you're going out.
The same,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Alright. So the fresher part of the Uruk army is on its way. They will meet us.
Good. Well,
Thank you for the assistance.
I mean, that's my job, my lord.
Oh well.
Well, we should prepare our forces here and march out to meet them. No reason to stand on ceremony.
Indeed.
There's nothing left for us here.
Indeed there isn't. Alright, I guess we will start preparing to march out.
I think that sounds about right. Good work, everyone. Everyone levels up.
What? That did not take long.
Well, we don't have much longer.
We
left.
don't have long.
I think that before we wrap, I think Gygas looks at each one of you and says, "You realize
you gained a level."
No. I think he gives you the speech of like, I think this is it. If you've got any other business to take care of, now's the time.
Oh, side quest!
From what we're
Well, our side quest machine just crashed.
what we're about to face, there's no coming back from it.
Oh god, we gotta reload while we set the
I'll
flying
sort of
machine.
not be like, I was actually the one that told you that just now, but yes, thank you, Gygas.
No, you have Tiberius's ship, and Tiberius's
Oh.
ship can move at a pretty fast clip. So if there actually is somewhere else that you want to go, I think
Well,
it's
I have
pretty
this
reasonable.
map with some markings and a key from second level.
Oh, we have that.
Oh
we
my
have that
God.
one guy from Tier who wanted us to do something about some bandits or something a while ago.
Oh
He's
my god.
dead. He's fucking dead.
He had like a house full of like scrolls and everything.
He
and, like,
did. He was
or-
trying to send you to Kaladne, but you've
Ah.
already been there.
Yes.
And now he's dead.
Ooh.
Or there was the
The weird house that no one talks about in Tier.
Yep, the house that no one talks about, where Zathis saw the weird little girl in the window and then she disappeared.
Even Matthias of the Veiled Alliance wouldn't talk about it.
Nope.
We can
that's
assume
correct.
Zathis solved that one.
No,
No.
probably not.
Oh, actually,
Probably
he
not.
had-
Rob her blind.
Never mind. He had the perfect sapphire or whatever, so he's
Yeah,
rich.
he's gone.
Yeah, he sold that off and he is just
living on the giant.
lounging.
Yeah.
What
He's-
other side quests are there that we could wrap up?
Kirkataw's business extraordinaire.
I had so much ready for you guys to like enter into like commerce and like decide where.
We just left him on autopilot and it did better than we ever would have
Yeah.
done.
Basically, yeah.
We were supposed to find healing
Man,
fruit.
I was looking forward to
but
the-
man, we were way too busy for that.
Yeah, I was looking forward to the.
Oh yeah, there was the whole Telak
Yeah.
thing.
for posterity.
We had no
Oh,
time
your
for
hit
that.
points.
Yeah.
We're pretty rushed once the fucking vampiric curse fell on Cassia's only friend.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that was a
Yeah.
Just 2 max.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To level up.
Yeah, everyone levels up, and I've announced before that this is the last arc, but starting next week, we are really going to get into the final kind of material. Next week isn't the last one, but gosh, we're getting close.
No, you get your average at least rounded up.
Yeah.
On a D8,
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
There you go.
But
I sure don't want to read this one.
presumably
I
this is
don't
our
want
last
I
level,
need
though,
that.
right?
I need that so bad.
You
We'll see.
Okay.
I need to get those
I did make a begging request for at least brief access to 9th level spells, just because to come from 1st level to walk all the way to 9th level spells,
We
even if
are-
it's only one session.
Pretty darn close.
It's like we're like the ferret hanging onto the couch, just gonna climb over a little.
Well, you've got to live that long first, so we'll
True.
see.
But hey, I'll have a whole nother bucket of hit points because I'm gonna raise con to 22.
Oh, boy.
ability score improvement. Nice.
Thank you all, as always. This game means the world to me. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you didn't get our announcement last week, Board Games is on hiatus for a bit, so don't look for us this coming Thursday. But we'll be back next Tuesday with more of the ongoing finale of our Dark Sun adventure. Wyvern Slayer asks, do you have any teasers for what's to come? No, nothing yet. I haven't even told the other players because I don't want to distract too much from what we've got going on right now.
I lose another character.
That hasn't stopped people, I think, from brainstorming new stuff. But no, don't worry about it. We will, as soon as there is stuff to share, I'll be able to share it with you. As soon as I can say it, I will scream it from the rooftops. It's going to be really, really fun. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, stream.
Bye.